And there's always that little bit of hang. If we get really lucky, I'm going to hold up my hand and maybe Achilles will come boop on camera. You coward! I guess not. But we all made it. We're all here. We're all in one piece. We've all leveled up, I hope. And it's time for everyone to quickly, reflexively check their sheets as we go into more of our Kingmaker playthrough. Thank you to the 5 of you for your support on Patreon, helping us do the thing, live the dream, build the open world game that has been... It's been definitely really different for me to GM, because I'm like, I sit down in the 30 minutes before game starts, I'm like, okay, we got to do the thing, got to set up. But where are we going next? Prep all the things forever, and here we are. So we will, I don't think anyone is too tired today to not have put their voice to token in character reflection. Maybe I am, geez. So I'll just roll the D5, and we'll take them as you see them in the top left, beginning with, from last to now first, Kalira.
Although we're going last. You got me.
Gotcha!
Hate to see it.
You hate to see it.
Okay, Kalira is she's a barbarian half-elf, superstitious. And from the last adventure, she's feeling a bit that the party is kind of a holdover from her previous thoughts. It's missing in the direction that she would like to see it go. So she sort of spearheaded maybe a bit of a party solidarity. To create a name for the party so that we can get more unity and hopefully more focus. And she's really a version of homesick, very much so. And to that extent, she's looking for ways to make a lot more money a lot quickly so that she can hopefully build some sort of or generate some sort of goodwill that would allow her to a little bit more freedom, let's say. But she's ever the optimist, and she's learned a few new ways to stomp people, so that's always fun.
Always fun to do a stomp. The hero point is yours, and here comes the D5 again. I'm going to hit a 3. Nope. No, we're taking it to the Taxman next. One of the... actually, I went back last night and listened to some of our old episodes. Partially because I had to splice a couple together. Partially because I knew there was some stuff I wanted to take out. And I will say that, the amount of... of all the groups I have, the roleplay in this group is probably my favorite. And that's probably because of Kato and Artoris. At first I'm like, oh, what's happening? Oh, buy it. And then it's actually really entertaining for me to watch and GM for. So, Taxman, you're on.
Whew. Right. So my character is Artoris, and he is a tax master of Abadar. Functionally, in terms of class, he's an inquisitor of Abadar. I think that's tactical leader, archetype, all that fun stuff. In terms of where I'm at roleplay wise, obviously last session was, I don't know, what's a nice word for it?
It was a good opportunity.
It was interesting. There was a lot of tension. I don't know if that was clear or not. Maybe it wasn't. But I think thanks to our friendly goblin and then the kobolds helped I don't know, settle things down. He's still pretty upset with the party and still kind of hoping that Abadar will come in and be like, hey, dude, just leave. Go home. These people are terrible. But since that doesn't seem to be where he's at. He's trying to make the best of it. He's trying to watch over the daughter of a good friend of his. So he has a purpose, and he intends on fulfilling that purpose.
Good enough for me. Take your hero point, and next is Cal again. Here we
Tibor
go.
again.
All right.
So he just immediately just gets up to the plate. Now next is, speaking of friend to watch over, Ionia, if you're awake, if you're alive, as I go to drink my own coffee.
I am playing Ionia Essel. She's a human occultist. Unlike Kato, it is really just that simple.
Just you wait.
Waiting with bated breath. Ionia sits on the ground, resting her back against the large white dog, his soft fur tickling Ionia's arm as it sways in a light breeze. She stares into the fire, her gaze distant as she recounts the events of the previous days. We've secured our first allies after helping the kobolds rid themselves of their false prophet. That was no small thing. I wonder, however, if I may have reacted too harshly about Cal and Cato's prisoner. Surely there is wisdom in approaching a situation with diplomacy before violence, but maybe Cato had a point. I don't really know much about the Fae. I guess none of us do. And I certainly don't know much of these creatures in particular. For now, I feel that we did the right thing in establishing some peace between these two cultures who previously were at odds. But with time, the mites may prove a lack of understanding of our world's rules and agreements. If that day should come, I must be ready to do what is necessary to protect the interests of our world's people.
And who
That's all I
gets
got.
to follow that? We'll figure it out with
I
the
know.
roll of D5.
Oh boy. There's only 2 of us left, right?
Only 2 of you. Yeah, I'm just going to roll a D2. What am I doing? I just
Just
really
one
want to
and two.
see the same numbers come up over and over. One of my friends did that in a game we played a long time ago, and I had to do it in character like 4 times, and it was rude. But not today. Senia is next. The man with many classes will go last, and you did it. You get to go last.
I play Senya, a Kelid barbarian, a wildling, if you will. Based on our last session, there was definitely some tension, and she was grateful for Bakken's words of wisdom to set the group straight and be more unified in their misadventures, as Arcturus likes to say. She is a level 2 Gemini Invoker and a level 1 Ranger. And so far, hasn't learned any skills or hasn't learned anything new, like as far as class-wise goes, but can't wait to grow more into that role.
Fair enough. All right, Kato, take us home. Everybody sit down. We've got like 20 classes to talk about and titles.
Nah, not quite 20. But Cato Sicarius, the son of Saul Sicarius and member of the great house Sicarius of Restov. He is a human of the Taldan origin, and his classes. He is a level 1 swashbuckler of the Rosslyn Bravo archetype. He is also a level 1 monk of the Master of Many Styles archetype. And as of today, he is also a level 1 fighter with the Weapon Master archetype with a weapon proficiency chosen of Aldori dueling swords. Cato is, martial by trade. So a lot of these encounters, he is generally quick to grab the hilt first and talk later, as has always been his way in the past when settling disputes, whether on the streets of Restov when honor is besmirched. Often the noble and expected response is to go to blades to defend said honor. Same goes when dealing with lowly ruffians, thieves, things of that nature. Any who would lurk into his home or into his neighborhood and would steal from him, his family, or his friends would be put to the blade. And if they survived, well, then the law could have their turn at them. So with these sort of predispositions in place, Cato has sort of reflected that in his actions lately. However, he has realized very quickly that there are differing cultures here, differing opinions, and differing ways of handling such incidents. Therefore, Cato has, he understands. He's not totally blind to the objections and to the looks that he's been getting from some of his party members. So he's going to attempt to temper that those quick responses that he is so used to jumping to, growing up in his noble house in Rostov. Also, in regards to Cal's earlier discussion about unifying the party, there was a great discussion when we reached our camp after last session, and I will say Cato came up with a phenomenal name for our party. So from this day forward, the 5 of us will officially be known to all in this land as the Reclaimers.
And I hear Senya just as that goes down. But fair enough, good enough for me. So it was. This is
Timberwolves is a perfectly good name. Grumble, grumble.
This is the first party I've ever been in or GM'd for that's had a party name that wasn't like forced on them by a GM for a weird reason or like a meme that the group itself came up with. But fair enough, good enough for me. And if you guys want to, I guess, see behind the scenes, if you will, patronage at any tier gets you in a Discord. And if they're not public now, I'll set them to public, especially y'all's, because the RP channel gets used pretty heavily by these guys. But in any case, in light of the fact that that happened, in light of the fact that we're in transit right now, I'm not 100% sure where it is you guys want to pick up, given that that happened off screen. If memory serves, we've cleared out the soot scale sycamore problem and are tracking back to Oleg's.
Yeah, so it happened during our stay-over camp on our way to Oleg's.
Okay. So do we want to just
we
immediately
could
pick up from the morning after?
I think I'm good with that if everyone else is.
No problems with
Works
that.
for me.
Okay. So I guess then really quickly, as the conversation is going on and Ionia leaning back on Ionia's doggo, the name Reclaimers gets decided upon. And as that happens, the dog you're leaning on looks up and looks around a little. And Ionia in Ionia's mind's ear, but it's kind of fadey and faint, and it almost is just like a whisper on the wind. Just, well, I think Timberwolves would have been a fine name, but it is what it is. Watch out for them, would you? And the dog stands up a little and like stretches, makes its way over to sit in the like center of the group. Everybody can tell that this formerly just purchased as a guard dog seems to have a lot more self-awareness now than it did before. Matter of fact, it even looks a little bigger. As I've told a lot of people on the internet and at my tables that birthdays are super important to me. There are a bajillion people on planet Earth I have chosen for like my job or otherwise to associate with the people who can hear me right now. And one of them just went around the sun a little bit. So, Ionia, for your birthday, you have a sheet that says doggo. You receive a animal companion in the form of one of your guard puppers. It will use Ionia's character level as your druid level. And since you picked, I guess what I'll say is dinosaurs and tigers are usually the like, when we want to make sure our pet survives, we picked that one. I put a template on the animal chosen. It is a wolfhound with the advanced template. You should have access to the sheet.
Cool. Thank you.
There's not any... I know you bought armor at some point. I didn't put it on.
Yeah, I don't think they're currently wearing it, because I think we had discussed that they don't have like proficiency for it or something.
This one does. It had 1 feat, and I put light armor proficiency on it.
Okay, cool.
So there's that. In any case, the journey back takes you guys That's always the first big adjustment of get back to Kingmaker is, well, how far is everything? Where are we going? Get that table again. It is uninterrupted. Nothing jumps out and tries to attack you. You certainly could stop at Balkans if you wanted to.
We need to retrieve our horses from him as we
Yes.
sent him back with our... Yeah, so we will stop there. Thank him for his help, and then...
Actually, Cal did want to inquire about something at the little guy's house.
Okay, fair enough. So then you guys make your way across a bunch of hexes. I gotta open a notepad file. I gotta do a bunch of tracking stuff. We're moving at 40 feet, I believe. So that means it takes you guys about a day and a half and another camp to get there. Bakken is there. Bakken is waiting. Bakken greets you with a big formal, "Ah, yes, my lord, you've returned." Big formal bow. "I take it things went decisively?"
Well, I for one am a bit disappointed because, unfortunately, the shaman got away. That's the one I really wanted to cut in half. You understand?
Funny thing about
So-
people with magic is usually they have some kind of means of egress. You don't necessarily live that long otherwise.
Yes, it's something I would have to think upon. But for now, I was thinking, do you have any poisons that I could,
I suppose I could make something.
like the poisons that you could put on a blade? I was thinking something I could put on my javelins here. Do you have anything that causes choking or that makes them? Yeah, I don't want them to not know they're dying. You understand?
Of course, you being as insane as you are, that makes complete sense. I suppose I should warn you that should you happen to accidentally... He points a finger out and then points at his open palm as if to, poke himself. The consequences could, of course, be, well, you wouldn't want to know you weren't dying, would you? I could probably whip something up, though.
Oh, very good. And a touch of incontinence would also be nice, because... Well, never mind. Go ahead. I'll let the master work.
Of course, yes. We only want them to know they're dying. We don't want them to smell like they're dying.
It can be satisfying, you know.
Oh my god. I had to Google what incontinence meant.
Well, that's how you know they saw you coming, darling.
That was out of character. Dude.
Well, I suppose it depends on how much you're looking to spend.
Okay, well, I have.
I just
difficult,
want to also add a character on that note. Right above drow poison, one of the poisons that is legal for society play is in fact known as concentrated laxative. So it's there. Just gonna open that in another tab for later. Anyway.
Oh boy, that's gonna get used on us. I was thinking my budget runs around we'll call it 60 gold.
All right, fair enough. Can work with that, I suppose. He pulls up the book seems pretty innocuous. The cover in common is just I won't say magical plants and where to find them, but that's the idea. Let's see here. We want to hurt them. Could whip you up a solution of red tears. Costs about 50 gold. What's a word you would understand? It causes them to bleed profusely. Not so much a poison, so much as it originally came from giant mosquitoes. Help let them draw the blood more freely.
Oh, I see. Like over time type of damage.
He nods. Most poisons will be that way. There are not a lot of things that hit you in a matter of seconds. Matter of fact, most of them take even longer to set in.
I see. Okay. Anything else?
I suppose I could, he flips a couple more pages. The Soki over in Tien Sha, they developed a poison to help their, and he, like, puts his hand next to his head and then his hand up, where, like, to reach up to a human's head, to help them overtake their larger foes when they first came up from the Darklands. It's not really a poison so much as it causes you to produce lactic acid. It burns out your muscles over time.
Oh, like it makes you tired. Interesting. I think that one does tickle the fancy a bit. Yes.
All right, fair enough. 60 gold pieces and perhaps an hour or so, I could probably whip you up a dose of it. They called it Might Blight, actually. Funny choice of words given what you dealt with a couple days ago.
Indeed. Fair enough. We'll call it a deal. Does that include the discount?
Fair. That makes sense. Ah, yes, of course. Call that... probably make it for 40. He flips through, mumbles to himself something about loss of profits. He goes rapidly from a goblin to a Ferengi and then back again. Oh, what else could we whip up then on that note? Given our working association, I suppose I could whip up some Gelidburn oil as well. It's more of a shocking sensation, it burns, it's both freezing cold and searing hot.
Ooh.
Probably make that for about 40 gold as well.
Oh, I think I found a new favorite. All right, I like that oil.
He nods. And if 40 gold is spent, I will put a link to what the poison does in our general chat. Boom, bam. Anybody got anything else they want to do with our friendly neighborhood alchemist?
I think Ionia had something, but she's muted right now.
Add a character new question. What are the rules for applying said oil?
So applying it takes you I want to say it's like a standard action to apply poison to something. Since you, barbarian, are not proficient with poison, there's no, like, nothing bad will happen to you for using it. There are some GMs who will say that poison is an evil action. I don't agree with that really at all. I think it's more of a how you use it thing. But the only thing bad that could happen to someone who does not have safe poison use is my cat will continue to meow a bunch. And if you roll a natural 1 on an attack with the weapon, you expose yourself to the poison. Which then is how this particular one works is the onset is immediate as soon as you get hit. A DC 12 fortitude save made once a round for 4 rounds. The effect is a D3 of fire damage, a D3 of cold damage, and 1 round of the staggered condition. The maximum is 4 rounds. If they make the save 1 time, they're cured.
Okay, and it's just it's 1 hit basically.
Yeah.
Cool.
1 dose.
So save it for the Stag Lord.
Staggered is a pretty good condition. That's someone who is staggered can take a move action or a standard action, not both, and they can't take full round actions. Very, very good.
And that could potentially last for 4 rounds if they keep failing their fort save.
Yeah.
So don't
And-
roll an actual 1.
Another thing I could say also is when you get exposed to a poison, every consecutive exposure increases the DC from that poison by 2. So if you were to buy 4 doses of Gelidburn oil, it would be 12, 14, 16, 18. Of course, that gets expensive because that's just kind of how poison works without, like, going out into the wild and finding a spider and taking its venom, that kind of thing. But
Alchemists got to make their money somehow, right?
pretty much.
Also, Cal, so don't eat it or drink it or taste it or do what you usually do with things.
Yeah, oh my god, I forgot Cal is a new thing. I put it in my mouth. Not this one. Well, actually, you could. It's an injury poison, not a contact or ingested. Just, like, don't bite your tongue.
So it's more of a venom than a poison.
Yeah, it's I got a lot of Archives of Nethys tabs open right now. It needs to get into the bloodstream for it to be effective, yeah.
All right, so just don't drink it because it's expensive.
Don't drink the 40 gold drink. Well, did anybody else have any need for my services, or may I go back about my wonderful existence here at Bakken's hut? The sound of birds flying over the, like, vast expanse of nothing, and then this one house echoes out.
Sorry, Bakken, where can we find our horses? Or our horse that we lent you?
Of course. And the horse is probably actually just standing out front.
Walked right by
I
it.
see what you did there.
Kato will just give Bakken a nod, a respectful nod. Well, thank you for all of your help the last few days. I know the trip couldn't have been easy for you, so we do appreciate it. And then he goes to reclaim the horse and remove it from whatever it's probably, I assume it's tied down to something.
Probably just hitched
So
to the
he'll
fence.
so he'll start removing the hitching and bringing it over to the road.
Okay. Anybody else? I heard Ionia might have something, but is muted.
Yeah, I decided it's not the time for it.
Okay. In that case, another 8 hours passes. And back we go to Oleg's. As you guys make your way back, everything is in one piece, but there are some, like, the grass outside of Oleg's on the south side is charred a little, as if a fire had recently, like, sprung up out there.
Oh my god, it did happen.
Uh-oh.
Well, we did know about there were some attacks.
Yeah,
That was mentioned before.
Oleg and Svetlana are basically just manning the store, minding their own business. Keston and Keston's entourage, as well as Jod, have taken to manning the walls. Jod is leaning on his longbow like it's a staff. Keston just kind of casually sharpening his blade.
Keston was the
one
disgraced
from
noble, right?
Yeah, you got it.
All right, I'm gonna approach him.
Yes.
Keston, friend, what happened here?
Not a whole lot of much. The bandits came back. They, alchemist fire. One of them thought they knew what they were doing, didn't stopper the bottle, and when they went to throw it, he pantomimes. Actually, he doesn't pantomime. He has a mug of water, and he dumps the water out behind him, and then, like, with his hands.
So he dropped the bottle, or basically burned himself. Great.
Got close to burning himself, mostly just made a mess. Fortunately, they seem pretty disorganized still. With Jod here, my forces and I were able to keep them back with not much more than a couple of scratches.
Did you notice any of them wearing a necklace?
He shakes his head. Wasn't looking that close.
You say
I like the idea, though. Like, some bandits are attacking. What? Are they wearing any jewelry? Take a close look.
Did you manage to kill any of them, or did they all escape?
They all took off. Seemed to be they were looking for, I assume, all of you. When they didn't find you, but they did find resistance, they stuck around long enough to get a couple of bones broken, and then off they went.
Did you see which way they went?
Back south, I believe. At least as far as sight from the fort can tell us.
Yeah, I think
Senya, do you think you could track them to see if they're nearby? If they have a camp set up anywhere?
I can certainly attempt.
Okay.
What do you need? What will do you need from?
To track somebody would be a survival check. So it's pretty clear from Senya, just even on a cursory glance, walking out, looking around. Looks like about 5 bandits showed up. 5 bandits left, much more disorganized than they came. Generally speaking, they flee south. The tracks are a couple days old. Maybe someone on horseback could, run them down. But they don't seem to go anywhere other than just, a straight line south, which would eventually put them into thicker terrain and stuff.
Yeah, if they're a few days, if the tracks are a few days old, yeah, they could be anywhere now.
Mm-hmm. From the tracks, it looks like they didn't have any mounts. The booted feet could be anyone. The one of them with the 3 clawed toes, very clearly the footprints of an Uruxi, and one of the footprints is a little smaller, but yet also rounded out a little bit, seeming to be most likely the footprints of a halfling, given that you can tell this humanoid was not wearing a shoe.
Halflings don't wear shoes?
They do not.
Oh.
Nope.
Interesting. Do they have big hairy feet like hobbits? And
Yeah. Yes.
Exactly what they are.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. I'm gonna gather everyone around for a. If people are, I assume people sort of scattered when they reach the Olegs to do things. But
Is John Kafkin still here?
Yeah, Jod is still here. He sees you guys come in. He's, like I said, he is currently situated on the wall, and he sees you guys and nods, and then goes back out to scanning the horizon.
I thought his name was John. Is Jod?
Jhod. I'm not sure if that's Jhod or Hod or Jod. We called him
Okay.
J-Dog in my CRPG Kingmaker playthrough.
J-Dog. All right, cool. I'm good with that.
But yes, he's still here. Matter of fact, the section of the palisade where Jod has set up, it's very, very improvised and not fancy at all, but there's, he set up a little shrine to Erastil.
Holy man.
He indeed is a priest of Erastil.
How does Erastil get along with Abadar?
That would be... Artoris
I guess
would know.
that would be an
without looking
Artoris question.
Yeah.
Well, the Erastil's lawful good.
They don't not get along, but there are some sticking points between the two deities in terms of how one should live their life, whereas Abadar is bring civilization to the wilderness, trade, everyone works hard. There's from the point of view of a worshiper of Erastil, that everyone working hard is in the sense of building a city, a bit of your identity is lost in the process. Erastil and most of Erastil's followers are more of the small town lifestyle. Everyone helps out because everyone has to help out. Everyone knows everyone's name, so on and so forth.
In Abadar's, let's build a city.
It's the country boy versus the city boy, basically.
It's like Jeffersonians and Hamiltonians, you know?
Yeah. it's not to say that they wouldn't help each other out in times of strife. It's not to say that they both don't realize they have common enemies. They see the world from two sides of a different coin.
Oh.
Anybody got any other plans? Anything they want to?
Yeah, I actually wanted to say something to Captain. I thought Dell was doing something.
I'm gonna let you guys do things you want to do. I'm gonna call like a council of lords shortly. That's what I'm gonna refer to us from this point on. If we're gonna have like a team powwow, I'm gonna call the council of lords. But
Oh wow.
you guys let you guys do stuff for now. I don't want to like monopolize our time here.
Okay. Well, it sounds like first up then is Cal and Jod.
Oh, so I'll come up to the priest and eating a bowl of porridge. Jod,
Yes.
We ran into some issues on the way back here. Obviously, you had a bit of fun of your own. Ours was a little less so, unfortunately.
I see. Well, whatever do you mean?
I think our priest is broken.
Jod looks himself up and down. I'm a little old, but I wouldn't.
No,
call
not
myself...
you, not you. The one with the mask.
The Abadaran?
Yeah. So we saw the whole ghost. It was floating above the water. It was very scary.
You mean an actual ghost?
Yes.
Ghost. Okay.
Yes. And I don't think they want to do anything about it, but I think you do.
I mean, yes. That is one of the charges of one of the holy men of Erastil, is in the presence of something that is antithesis to life, antithesis to the community, well...
And spooky.
And spooky. Indeed. A quick and merciful end. Send them back to Pharasma. The poor thing is probably suffering.
Look, it wanted us to give it the Stag Lord's body. I mean, is that even a good idea?
Good morally or good for putting the soul to rest? That is the question.
I mean, are we going to get cast? That's all I care about. I don't want to be cast.
Jod, you see that behind him there is a stool, and on that stool rests an oversized bowl of porridge. He picks it up, eats it, nods thoughtfully.
Porridge, I should think.
It does indeed. It's hard to say. Perhaps this individual will curse you if you do not do the thing. Perhaps you will be cursed by association, in which case, I'm sorry, friend, you may already be cursed.
No. We cannot have this. Who do I have to cut in half to maybe be uncursed? Quickly.
It sounds like the Stag Lord if something bad happened to you.
This is all very vexing, and this is not very good news.
I'm sure we will all find a way.
Yeah, Cal just walks away.
In other words, beat it.
Okay. Anybody else have any NPCs they want to go talk to before the Council of Lords?
Yeah, I'd like to go talk with Svetlana.
Okay. She is presently behind I won't say behind the bar, but I guess for lack of a better term, that's what the counter where all of the goods are is also where the alcohol is. Presently just cleaning a glass. Oleg.
All right, I'll go sit down. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say Oleg is looking at his crossbow and making that Ron Swanson, I'm way too happy face. I don't know if y'all watch Parks and Rec. If not, you should watch Parks and Rec. It's quite good. But just that looking at his crossbow, and then Svetlana glares at him and he kind of like wilts a little, goes back to eating.
I'll come sit at the counter, and since Oleg is there, I'd like to roll a perception to see if he's got a matching silver ring.
Okay.
If I can find my check. There it is.
Yeah, he definitely, his is a little more tarnished, but he does.
Okay. The ring that we found last session, how's that one look? Is it in pretty good shape?
Certainly in much better than his. Maybe
Okay.
not necessarily brand new anymore, but like it's not tarnished or scuffed or anything like that.
It's an improvement.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll come sit at the counter and just kind of relax against the bar, and I'll say, Svetlana, how have you been?
Oh, well, you know, bandits from now and then. Occasionally traders come by. With Jod here, things are a little better than they have been. Certainly, the bandits don't come inside the walls anymore.
That's good to hear. He and Keston seem like they're doing a very good job.
She nods.
I had something come up that I think you might be interested in.
Yes.
I noticed when we were returning your ring the last time we were here that Oleg's ring seems a little scuffed up, a little tarnished. While we were out, we found this, and I'll present the new silver ring to her. I was thinking you might be interested in, a nicer one, so it can match yours.
Oh, I wouldn't say no, I suppose. Oleg is... Well, he doesn't take as good a care of his things as he could. And, like, as she says that, she pulls from under the counter a pair of pants that have a bunch of holes in them, and she begins, like, stitching them up. You can look back and see that all of Oleg's clothes from head to toe are patchwork, and where that they're either stretching from his girth or, like, there's been a hole in the knee, in the elbow, somewhere like that. I'm sure he would appreciate the sentiment in any case.
Seems like Oleg is a very hardworking man, and sometimes things get ruined when you work very hard. It's always good to have a backup.
She rolls her eyes and smiles. That's my Oleg. Oleg is just face down in the porridge, in earshot, but seems to not be paying attention.
So what do you say? The same price as the earrings we sold you the last time?
She nods.
Excellent, and I'll hand her over the ring. And does anybody remember how much we sold the earrings for?
Nope.
That was more.
Not even.
Not even.
To be honest with I when someone says, "Hey, I'm the quartermaster," usually I just kind of like shut that part off in my head. I want to say you guys made at least 60% though.
Yeah, I'll listen back to the old videos and fill in once we have the price.
Okay. Might it be on the... I see we have a loot sheet. Might it be in the Google Doc?
I do not keep track of how much we sold things for.
Okay. Well, she definitely is willing to pay for this, like, the same price for the thing.
Okay. So pending however much gold that is.
Pretty much. Probably at least 60-70%.
Okay, sounds good.
She smiles, takes it, hands you a coin purse. Oleg looks up for the first time and he smiles this, like, big, dumb, I am full smile and comes over to his wife, and his wife hands him the ring. He looks at it, puts it on his other hand's ring finger and smiles, and they embrace each other, and it's warm and fuzzy.
Oh, what a sweet moment that I profited off of.
Yeah.
I'll give them both a smile and say something about how cute they still are together, something of that nature. Kind of tap the counter and go back to my party.
Okay. Then, if there's anything else before the Council of Lords.
Would Oleg have a... Oh, go ahead.
I'd like to find out if Oleg knows anything about Nettles and his crossing. So I'd like to approach them after Ionia's profitable transaction and ask Oleg, my good man, do you happen to know anything about a river crossing south of you? I believe it's called Nettles Crossing.
He nods and gruffly basically relates everything that you guys had figured out with your knowledge checks last time. One of the few crossings of the Shrike River, I believe it is, ran by a man named Davik Nettles, recently has gone dark. Oleg doesn't get that far south himself, but usually people will come with happy tales of, oh, if this guy wasn't here and charging so cheap a rate, however would we have got here? That kind of thing. He does definitely corroborate, like, everything you guys have heard.
I'm afraid I have some bad news if you haven't heard yet already, but something terrible happened out there, and I'm afraid that crossing is no longer manned by anyone.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. He looks sad, looks at his ring, looks a little happy, eats a little bit of porridge, is more happy.
It was the Stag Lord's doing.
Not surprising. Seems to be he's the cause of everything out here. What I wouldn't give to just... And he looks over at his crossbow and takes like a half step towards it, and Svetlana's like, no. And then he gets... Not for a lack of trying. Then he gets a little dejected and smiles. Just, Svetlana just wants what's best. I know I can't exactly keep up like I used to. His hand goes to his rotund gut. Probably for the best I stay here and hold down the fort. Svetlana nods.
Smart man.
I know. Was there anything else you needed? Oleg goes back to just eating his porridge.
Nom nom.
Yum, 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 yum.
All right, I'm go back to the party.
All right, it's time for council.
Council of Lords. Okay, so then my next question before that happens is we have Oleg, Svetlana, Jod, and Keston presently at the fort who are, like, I won't say important, but I will say named NPCs. Would you guys like any of those four to be present for council?
They can.
Okay.
They can. In fact, sorry, what was there was J-Dog, right?
Yep, there's Jod is the priest of Erastil, and Keston.
Correct. Keston.
Keston. I gotta remember Keston. I gotta write all these names down because I keep losing them.
Yeah, I'm real
we
good at
have all of
misplacing
these
names.
names in the neat sheet that I made.
Okay, cool. Keston for sure should be there.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Oh, cool. The rest, it's not a private meeting. They can be present if they'd like. Keston, I would like to be there just because he was here when the topic I'm going to bring up happened.
Okay, that makes sense. So then if nobody stops him, Jod probably makes his way down too.
Mm-hmm. These Stag Lord bandits are becoming bolder and more dangerous as time goes on. First they killed Nettle. They attacked this outpost only a few days ago. If we don't root out this evil and cut off the head of this serpent soon, these attacks aren't going to end. More people are going to die.
Jod and Keston both nod thoughtfully. Well, what do you propose we do about it?
I think it's time to go hunting. Cato
Jod,
looks around to his companions to see if there are any visible expressions on anyone's face.
Jod does
Uh,
the
The
same.
last time we had this discussion, we all agreed that we needed more combat practice than we currently had. And all we've done is kill a few spiders. You think that's enough?
I'm not saying we head to the Stag Lord's fort directly, but clearly, gesturing over to the charred ground outside the camp, there are bandits out and about. I'm sure they're not all. I'm sure the Stag Lord's entire company aren't camping at his fort all day, every day. I don't know how we can track down those that are out here, but I think we should begin at least putting out feelers or trying to ascertain where the bandits may strike next, where they might be holed up. There's likely to be camps and outposts between here and the Stag Lord's base camp. I'm just saying, I think it's time to start taking the fight to them.
I'm sure you're right. I'm just not sure what we can do differently. The last time we only found the other bandit camp because of the goblin telling us exactly where it is. Senya, is this
Yes.
something you think you would be able to help with? I don't know quite how tracking works yet, but do you think you'd be able to find their camps?
I can definitely go out and scout ahead like I did last time and report on anything I find.
I just worry that if we head out on our adventures again, the next time a group of bandits arrives here at Oleg's, there may not be 5 of them. There may be 15 of them. Who knows, what they could do. We've seen what they've done at Nettles. I just can't sit by while they, march through this land like they own it and do as they please.
Well, I,
I
for
mean, I
one-
don't think.
Go ahead. Go.
Or don't go ahead.
Or don't even.
Okay. Well, I for one think it's a fine idea. We have a name now. It's time to put some strength behind it. Let the Stag Lord know who we are and what we've come to do. If it comes to finding them, clearly they'll come to find us. Seems all we have to do is wait.
Is Cressel still here? Or did we send her off to Rostov?
Cressel is, she's days gone.
Oh, that's right. Maybe the next lieutenant or whatever you'd like to call them, we find we should get information about where the other camps are. I'm sure they at least have some idea where their allies are camped out.
Perhaps.
Monday morning quarterback over here. Well, if I may, for once, I find myself agreeing with Kate. Abadar granted me a vision not too long ago of the plains on fire, and while I originally interpreted that as having to do with the illusion, it seems like no small coincidence that the bandits came here and attempted to use. So I believe that Abadar wishes us to pursue specifically these bandits. And that's
So, how do we find them? That's the answer, or the question I don't have the answer to. I mean, we have a few horses. We have someone in our party that is exceptional at tracking.
Well, the bandits were on foot. I didn't see any horse tracks, so we might as well use our horses to track them and catch up to.
If they were
If
on
they
foot,
were on foot, they must have been close.
yeah, it's not very likely
You're gonna
that
say the
they
same
were
thing,
going to
weren't you?
travel. Yeah, not likely they were going to travel all the way back to the Stag Lord's fort on foot. That would take ages. So they must have something at least reasonably nearby. Well, maybe we have Senya do some scouting while we... I hate just saying we should wait here to see if the bandits return, but I feel like we need to
I think
cast
we
a
need to
wide
be more
net.
proactive than that.
Yeah, but I also want to cast a wide enough net that if they do come here, we don't miss that opportunity while we're out searching, right? What's dude's name? Sorry, I need to look at this.
There's a lot of dudes.
Keston.
Keston?
Yeah.
Kato turns to Keston. The next time if the bandits do show up again, do you feel confident that you could take one of them alive for questioning?
Well, we could certainly try.
I don't want you to put yourselves or the, Oleg and his wife here at unnecessary risk, of course. I'm not saying open the gates for them and let them in. But if there is any opportunity that presents itself to take one for questioning, it would be immensely helpful.
Of course. We'll do what we can. He turns over to Jod, and Jod nods as well. I'm not so sure they'll be coming back anytime soon. I think they were expecting to either find those who have done harm to them, but you helped me escape their camp at the Thornford, or perhaps maybe that you'd moved on and they could have a quick snack, if you will, here at the fort. Burn it down, take what they wanted, and then disappear again. Certainly attacking them at their heart would at least disperse their leadership. However, I don't think we do that right now without grave cost.
Yeah, agreed.
I'm sure our swordsman friend here can tell us all how sometimes duels can be decided with the simple, and he, much slower and more, deliberately than Cato, and Cato flourishes. He does the same thing with a stick. A quick and decisive stroke, a turn of bad luck.
Cato nods.
John and Keston just kind of go back to eating quietly and looking out on the group to hear the group's thoughts.
What time is it? Are we?
I mean,
Is
we
it-
know they headed south, right?
Yeah.
We do.
So as long as we search in that general pattern, they could come back up this way without going by us, presumably.
Yeah.
Well, if it's an alleyway of Rostov, I'd be inclined to believe you, but this place it's so big. Everything's so open. We could pass each other 5 times and never see each other.
John
I guess
and Keston both
Depends
nod.
on how many.
Not to mention that the first camp we took out was south. We've traveled a lot that way, and if they were on foot again, they were probably close. It's possible they were going south just to throw them off their trail.
I mean, these aren't exactly tactical geniuses here. They're just bandits that couldn't
we
even
don't
throw
know
a alchemist fire correctly.
that. Okay, that's fair.
They
Well, we
did
know they're
show-
not east.
That's true.
I mean, yeah. Presumably they're
And
not.
probably not north.
And
So-
probably not north.
So what you're saying is that they're south? Is that what you're? So what
Doubtful
you're
that they're
driving towards?
west. Doubtful that
I
they're
mean, maybe
west. 'cause
west.
I'm
Maybe
gonna go.
southwest.
Okay.
Southwest is an odd.
So they ran away south and doubled back through the forest to get to their camp. And
maybe they headed back towards the old Kessel's old camp to use that. I don't know.
Or maybe their camp is in the forest, like Kessel's was.
Kessel's was, yeah. Maybe
Maybe they're all dragons, and it was just.
we've been searching the
Ruse.
plains, but the only bandit fort or bandit camp we found so far has been in the jungle.
But we also
Yeah.
know that the Staglor's camp is in the plains.
That's true.
It's
Well,
on a
graveyard.
it's on a fucking graveyard.
A graveyard in the plains. Graveyard doesn't change the terrain.
Oh, it does. It does. It does change it tremendously. What are you talking about? Things reach up from the ground and grab your ankle. I guess you're into that, witch. Whatever.
For once, you're actually right. It does sound very exciting.
Well, we haven't explored much of the forested area yet. But before I go out, I'd also like to check with Oleg's stores if they have any masterwork survival kits.
I want to say probably. Assuming that's I've never heard that item asked for when my players are shopping. Oh, that is indeed a thing. Yeah, he would definitely have a Masterwork survival kit.
Usually people just ask for things to kill things with.
Pretty much. Or potions to put themselves back together. Survival kit. Oh, bam. Okay, yeah, he probably actually has a lot of this, given that Oleg's trading post is like the last bastion of civilization for a long, long while.
So what does the survival kit thing do?
A Masterworks survival kit contains higher quality gear and a guide to identifying flora and fauna. It grants you a +2 circumstance bonus on survival checks to get along in the wild, deal with severe weather, keep from getting lost, avoid natural hazards such as quicksand, and predict the weather. So everything but track somebody, basically.
Is there any kit that helps tracking?
A tracking kit? The dogs would be my first thought. Something with scent would be the tracks are days old, but that doesn't mean you couldn't attempt it. And certainly if they got...
There is a tracker's kit, though. Oh, wait, no, that's
just
something else.
for the level.
That's nothing.
The class, I mean.
That's a gear kit.
The exact location of a dragon's lair must sometimes be learned through exploration. This kit provides... We're not quite there yet.
What is how is this word said? Bowline? Bowline? Bowlin?
Bowlin. Bowlin.
Alright, settle down.
Oh.
Aw.
B-O-L-I-N.
Deflated.
That's the guy. I presume Oleg would have one of these guys.
A hook-shaped knife commonly used by herbalists and spellcasters to harvest ingredients for their craft.
Maybe?
Is that... I'm not sure if
That's
we're
the
talking about
one.
same
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he certainly would.
I'd like to buy one of these.
Okay.
I'm being pressured into it off camera.
You can now treat deadly wounds with only a single use of a healer.
I mean, it's a
skill,
good
rather than
idea,
2
yeah.
uses. Yeah.
Not the worst idea, yeah.
What's he charging me for?
I think it's a
such
terrible idea.
Probably only charge you like 5 gold.
What a hero.
True hero. So I'm hearing the plan is Senia goes out, does
See if she
some
can
scouting.
Yeah, we want to find out where those. See if we can at least. I know that the trail's cold, but she's fast and on a horse and has tracking skills. So she's our best bet, probably at picking up some kind of trail or seeing where they might be, where these bandits might have gone.
Okay. Does anybody want to go with her?
I just slow her down.
Don't all volunteer all at once.
I thought you liked to go alone.
True.
So,
Oh, actually, you know what? I will go because I can bring the dogs.
That is certainly one of the better ways to find somebody is to go sniffing for them.
Oh, I did train ride. I was like, I probably shouldn't go because I don't have riding trained, but no, I did. It is a classical for me too.
Okay.
I'm gonna get. We have 3 horses, right?
I believe that's
guys-
right, yeah.
If you guys, I should probably go too, just in case we wind up in some kind of ambush and need to fight our way out.
Yeah, what will we do without someone to parry and repost?
Don't worry, Tax Master. I'll keep your charge safe.
Ionia rolls her eyes. Quietly knowing
I'll-
that she really does need to be kept safe.
And she'll probably keep my bloodlust in line at the same time.
That's
I'm
probably
gonna-
true.
I'm gonna look at Senya and tell her I'm counting on you.
Oof.
I won't let you down.
And I will look at our Taurus and Cal and say, enjoy your quality time together.
Yeah, you two can
Canoodle.
get to know each other a little better.
Oh boy.
September is turning into October. It is getting super cold out. Okay, cool. Works for me. Yeah, we are presently tracking the 25th of Rova. I forget what October is called in Pathfinder, but that's where we're headed. And speaking of where we're headed, I will...
October is Lamashan.
Lamashan. Oh, fun. The month of monsters. Okay, cool.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it does too. Dang. Okay. I didn't mean to do that, but that's what we did. Okay, so back to the overworld map we go. The slowest speed in the party would be 40, the speed of the doggo. Whose sheet is just called Doggo, because I didn't know if you wanted to name Doggo or not. But
Yeah, I was not planning on naming doggos quite yet, but with this new thing, I will RP that soon.
okay, fair enough. Yeah, as you guys take off, the one that seems to be a little more aware of itself just kind of sticks right at Ionia's, like, right at her right side. Doesn't really move for much of anything. Probably even, like, I won't say, like, growls when someone gets close, but, like, stands up. Sniffs a little bit. In any case, I guess the blue markings on the board to now indicate that a square is cleared may or may not be arbitrary, given that we're tracking tracks.
True.
Where you guys go, how you guys wing it, is up to y'all.
So we're gonna, I guess, do we do like have Senya do a series of survival checks as we can to figure out which direction to go next?
That makes sense. They very clearly head south from where you guys are right now.
All right, I guess we should follow the tracks.
Okay.
Can you get assistance from the dog?
Probably once the tracks become
The Doge?
less
Doggo.
clear.
From Doggo.
I like.
Okay.
I vote we name it Doge.
I have names picked out for the dogs. It is not going to be something as dumb as Doge. Thank you very much.
It's not going to be a meme. Okay, so you guys, I guess I'll still use Kato's token. You make it south, and 8 hours pass. As you guys get to that end of the square, it goes from, like, it was probably early afternoon by the time you guys left, so I guess, like, about here-ish in the middle is where camp would be set up, and then here is now another day forward. And if Senya would like, you guys are following the tracks. In the middle of the next day, they all kind of split off. Some of them go into, to get real mechanical with you, some of them go into this hex, some of them go into this hex, this hex. They seem to basically just break formation and go their separate ways here.
Do I tell which set of tracks has like more people?
Yeah,
Which one has that?
looks like the majority of them went into the forest. A couple of the halfling's footprints and some other booted humanoid go this way. The Iruxi and the other 2 booted feet go into the forest.
So, which set of tracks do you think we should follow?
Probably the one that has the larger group.
Even that aside, if I was going to set up a secret camp to launch raids from, I would have it set up out of sight.
Not to mention, we've already explored that other way and didn't find a camp. So, I mean, who knows? They might have just been hunting or something.
Yeah. All right. Well, into the forest we go.
I'll put that there because I forgot that was there indeed. Okay. So then, as you guys make your way into the forest, at this point, it would be the rules for exploring the hex, I suppose. It would be a survival check from Senia, survival check from the dog. Perceptions are also totally fine as well. It will take time. There's a lot of ground to cover.
Ooh, that survival check, though, from Senia.
It's a pretty survival check. Okay, so you guys go looking around. The tracks, the 3 people that go off into the woods, they split off farther, 3 different directions. Doggo probably smells moon radishes and remembers that smell and like kind of makes that. I'm gonna sound horrible as I try to imitate a dog, but the dog equivalent of geez, I'll just do that. Yeah, there we go. Save everyone's ears. It looks like they all just break off at this point. The terrain is much more. It's harder for the horses to pick through the forest and stuff now. Takes you guys a full 24 hours looking around the forest here, and other than moon radishes, the occasional smaller than the dog that is now following you guys predatory animal which is scared off when it sees you, and like herds of deer, nothing really pops up.
So it seems like the tracks split off again in 3 different directions.
Yeah.
It sounds like there's 3 different camps around here somewhere.
Or the other 2 broke off in another direction. These 3 broke off one way and then split again. Either they're very adept at covering their tracks. They may all be heading to the same place, just making it difficult to be followed.
Both trains of thought make sense. The rest would be behind a DC 20 sense motive check, basically, anytime you want to get a hunch.
Yeah. Well, let's get a hunch.
So both Cato and Ionia think the most likely thing that went down was that the bandits were routed. The bandits don't really have any leadership. It's mostly just there's one person who's stronger than everybody else who has a place where you can stay if you do what he says, and then fight happened and they got scared, so they just took off. For all you know, following these tracks could take you out of the Stolen Lands, or it could take you to where somebody else has sat up, or it could take you to one individual bandit who has now decided to do something else with their time. All 3 of those are pretty likely. That said, if you were to find one, you'd certainly get more information.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. We may not find a camp, but if we can at least find a guy, we might be able to then stop shooting in the dark. But at the same time, like, who knows how far they could have ventured, so...
Preston and Jad gave these guys such a beating, they all decided to turn over their lives of crime.
Or at least attempt it somewhere safer.
Or attempt it somewhere safer. It's fair.
Well, if we're having a hard time navigating in the forest, I'm sure like they can't get that far in these lands. Perhaps we just pick one set of tracks and continue tracking it.
One
Makes sense to me.
one set of tracks was the Aruki, right?
The Uruxi, yeah.
Uruxi?
More commonly known as a lizard folk, yeah.
Right. Senya, what do you know about these creatures? Do you have a knowledge for that? I assume you
Nature.
do.
Knowledge nature.
Knowledge nature?
Let me see.
Local would also cut it as well. Okie dokie, yeah. The Black Stags and truly a lot of the Khalid tribes in the region would have been dealing with Uruxi for as long as they'd been around, basically. You don't see them a lot this far north. The farther south you go, the warmer it gets, the more likely you're to run into dinosaurs. Uruxi fall along that same line. They have existed as a civilized race with a rich oral history since well before the Age of Darkness, and they have not evolved as other races have in the same way that dinosaurs or on planet Earth like a crocodile or a shark hasn't changed much because they don't really need to. They at adulthood usually stand about 6 foot tall, but they continue growing as they age. Unlike a lot of other things, they usually live to be about 120. Most of them are pretty good at swimming with their really long tails, like in the same way a crocodile does. Some of them around here in this part of the world, you see less of the ones that have the webbed hands and feet for climbing, and a little more claws the size of daggers, and bright green and blue colorations for hiding in the water, hiding in the tree line and stuff. They aren't inherently. They're not slow. They're not necessarily the fastest thing on 2 legs. They sometimes, and it's not uncommon for the Uruxi who have lived in harmony with nature for thousands of years, to be a little better at striding through woodland, shall we say.
Yeah, that was kind of my question. Would they be able to navigate this quickly and easily, blend into the surrounding? They would probably be the worst one to track.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
not only
if the Uruxi were to hit water,
Yeah.
Then we're done.
then yeah.
Yeah, they're also their constitution makes them very naturally camouflaged, so
Mhm.
they'd definitely be a little harder for me to track.
And most of them can hold their breath for a really long time. Some of them are just outright amphibious. So
Okay. And what were the other
not
two
only
sets of
that,
tracks?
but
yes, Ionia?
Sorry, Ionia.
I was saying the Uruxi is probably the least likely to speak a common language with one of us as well.
True.
They do have
I was
their
gonna
own
say-
racial language. That
was gonna
said,
ask
if
The
they're
halfling tracks there.
the halfling is the other way.
Yeah.
The
That would probably
Uruxi
be
also,
fast.
if the Uruxi is working with other humanoids, they probably have some shared language.
True. My thoughts then. I should have probably asked before asking all about the Uruxi, what the 3 remaining tracks were, because had I known it was halflings, I could have just skipped that whole line of questioning. Because I think we should probably, if we're going
Didn't
to
the halfling
pursue-
go not into the forest?
Right.
Yeah, the halfling went into the
Oh.
plains.
The other 2
Which-
tracks are harder to tell because they're just they are boot prints the size of your own.
Yeah.
So they could be humans, they could be half elves, anything in between.
And it actually might make more sense for us to leave the forest and go into the plains to track the halfling. It's going to have the lowest movement speed. We have mounts that can move more readily in the plains. And just generally, the forest is difficult to get through.
It is. Yeah, maybe. All right.
That said, we haven't explored this area. We have explored the other area.
Yeah. If we can catch the halfling and bring him back, then we might be able to glean some more information about where these bandits are staging from. But we've already kind of gone the other way, so we're going to have to make up time. And I'm willing to try it, but the opportunity may have already passed us.
That does seem likely.
Well, then let's pick one of these boot prints and follow. Which ones seem easier to... Is there one that's like heavier prints or anything like that?
Metagamey, which way are the tracks going, Tommy?
The Iruxi tracks go from where the token sits on the board. They basically make, I'll grab the ruler, a straight line that way, which
to the river.
You guys would know is just like a beeline to the water. The other two fan out a little more like this.
Well, I say we follow one of the Buddha prints, see where they lead.
Does the dog
If we followed...
Can the dog get a scent on either of them if one is closer than the other? Or any sort of...
Not necessarily right now with the survival checks that have gone down, but like you won't lose the trail if like for some reason Senia couldn't find tracks.
I say we take the more northern.
Yeah, I was going to suggest that as well. It'll be easier to get out of the forest that way.
Yeah, the deeper we go, the nastier it's going to get. And we haven't explored in there yet. Don't want to run into a giant spider nest or something while we're just blindly trudging undermanned here with the rest of our party back home.
Makes sense.
All right, so we'll continue our pursuit.
Okay, so is it if you could ping the square, I guess. Got you.
Well, you said one is like this way and one is this way.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna take the more northern-ish track.
Okay. Makes sense to me. Make your way through that hex. Takes another lot of the day to move through. Well, about like 5 hours. Most of the morning to get through and then break out with the forest on your left and the plains hanging. You can... the survival checks are pretty easy. The tracks, one of them seems to like break out of the forest. And actually, let me get a couple survival checks.
Oh boy.
Ooh.
And this is why we have Doggo. So...
I can also try. I've got survival.
Okay.
Oh, wow, look at you.
So Senia, the
I was taking
trail...
notes.
The trail gets real cold as you guys leave the forest. The tracks actually get kind of confusing as you leave, as if the person you were tracking, like they're no longer just moving in a straight line. There was a lot of back and forth, a lot of places where the grass is disturbed as if something fell down. Kato definitely can tell that there some kind of struggle happened here. With the survival from Ionia and Doggo, it seems to be pretty clear that whoever you were tracking, when they left the forest, they ran into something that they tried to fight and then ran from, basically back into the forest over here. What's weird about that is both the thing they were running from and the tracks from like something else coming this way that they fought are non-existent.
Is there any blood or...
No blood. There are a couple of... actually, no. There is a little bit of blood. There's, as you guys are looking around the like edge of the forest, the tracks lead to where there's a fallen log. On the other side is some really tall grass, and there's a little bit of blood on the log, and the grass on the other side is tamped down as if someone tripped over it and like skinned their knee on the bark.
You said there are no other tracks for whatever was chasing this thing?
Right.
I would like to look up in the sky and see if there's any noticeable large bird of prey or something of that nature that we could maybe follow.
Okay. It's a little cloudy today, but there's nothing in the sky overhead.
Hmm. Well,
I feel like maybe our fairy dragon found a new friend. That's just a...
fairy dragon I don't think would bloody somebody.
Oh, it looked like he skinned his knee on the log. He probably just ran from it, got scared, ran, and tripped
Yeah.
over the log and skinned his knee.
That seems to be
who
what
gets
happened
scared
from
about-
the survival, yeah. Is just like went a running, didn't see the thing, went over top of it.
Oh, I guess the fairy dragon could have made an illusion
Yeah,
to
could have
scare
done
him.
a
Yeah,
number
makes
of
sense.
to spook him. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's good news because that means he's probably still alive.
True, but back into the forest. Feels like
And we're not too far off from Oleg's. We've been tracking these prints for how long now?
It's been 1 week. Sorry, it's been a couple of days.
yeah.
I mean,
I'm getting
at a certain
cranky.
point, we might be better off just continuing on what we were doing. Exploring generally. Eventually, we're gonna find a camp.
We'll find something. Yeah. Just
But I mean, how much time are we gonna waste on
I know. I just hate going
a
home empty
fool's
handed.
errand?
Well, why don't we on our way home go through?
Oh, explore this hex on the way up.
Oh, I guess we can. Yeah, we're here. We might as well.
Did we effectively explore this one while we were tracking?
Yeah,
Or-
you did. The only thing really of note in that square is there's a pretty sizable moon radish patch.
All right.
Yeah, I assumed as much after the kobolds we had met.
Mhm.
Since we're here in this tile, let's use the rest of the day or whatever to explore this tile, and then we'll head back to Oleg's, just so this trip isn't a complete waste.
Okay, so then a day passes. There's not a lot here, other than like very clearly the tracks lead here. They were accosted by something that didn't leave tracks and then fled into the forest the other way. And then another day passes, marking the 28th of Rova. Around the middle of the morning, Cato, Senya, and Ionia arrive back at the fort. There haven't been, over the intervening 3 days for Artoris and Kalira, nothing really has happened. No sign of bandits, maybe occasionally like a couple of trappers a couple days out made their way from the stolen lands up, and they stopped and they sold some furs to Oleg and then continued on their way to Restov. If you two would like to ask them anything, you are certainly welcome to do so.
I got nothing.
Yeah, I don't think I have any.
They've been out in the wilds trapping.
Mm-hmm. That's not
Have,
uncommon in this part of the world.
have you seen any camps out there?
I mean, I haven't, but I suppose. Where did you say they were trapping? Just out and about?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm terrible at interacting with. Oh, where's Ionia? Or Cato, for that matter.
Yeah, we left you guys to hold down the fort. You gotta question.
the fort's still
everyone who
here.
passes through.
Oh gosh. Who are they? Could you repeat that? Just some people?
Just a couple of human trappers that they're making their way back to Restov. They stopped here, as is pretty common, to sell their furs to Oleg and then take the money they made and head back home.
I don't even know what to call them.
I'll say from Kalira's point of view, they're probably like fop lowercase f. They're dressed to be out and about romping around in the woods, but also their clothes are really nice and their hair is perfectly cut and their beards are perfectly trimmed.
Okay, that makes me feel a little more at ease. Pardon me.
Yes.
Have you been out trapping these lands?
Oh, why, yes, a bit of a vacation. Me and my cousin here. The cousin is face down in the porridge, wolfing it down rapidly, as is the meme.
You didn't run into any trouble out there, by the looks of things?
Nothing we couldn't handle. The man, as he's talking, he pulls a bear pelt from, like, out of a saddlebag and then sets it down at Oleg. Oleg's eyes light up. Money is exchanged.
We had some bandits pass nearby recently, and we're trying to find... I don't suppose you saw anything unusual out there?
Oh, my heavens, no. Bandits. Oh. The other one just continues eating and nods, feigning like, that's so scary.
I think they're making fun of you.
I don't know. They're just fops like you.
Fops like us.
Well, settle down.
It's the name of this episode.
All right, well...
They're more like you than me.
Fops like you.
Well, very good. I hope you gentlemen had a good time.
Oh, of course. I'm sure we'll be back sometime before it gets too cold. Go out hunting again. Why, yes. They clamber back onto their horses, whose manes and tails have been intricately braided, and the sigildry of a house you don't recognize is emblazoned on the saddlebags and the blanket under the saddle on the horse, and they go riding. One of the horses steps in a bit of mud, and the mud splashes on the cousin, who speaks up for the first time. The words he says are not nice. Something, several platinum to get this ironed out back home.
Definitely fops like Kato.
Yeah.
Yeah. Platinum, holy shit. I don't have anything even worth a platinum. These guys are richer than I am.
They're paying the best wizards, only the best wizards, to do our laundry. Okay, and the squad reconnoiters at Oleg's.
Wait, is that what wizards do in Rostov? Laundry?
What I will say is cantrips like prestidigitation and mending, if somebody could cast those in real life, they'd make a killing, right? 1 gold piece, and whatever happened to your broken thing is now fixed. Everything is looking the way you want it to, so on and so forth. So certainly there are probably some people who only go to wizard school to learn those cantrips and then out into trade school.
I mean, if
It's not
you
a
can
bad
afford
idea.
it, if you can afford it, why go to a launder when you can go to someone who can just, snap their fingers and make your garment perfect?
Mm-hmm. As if it was brand new again for the low cost of 1 gold piece. And the line is
Could
just
you imagine-
always out the door.
Could you imagine never having to do laundry?
Yeah, I could. I really could.
But a privilege
Sweet.
only. A privilege reserved for the rich.
Or those with at least 11 intelligence. Or 10 intelligence, rather. And so the squad reconnoiters at Oleg's.
Yeah, we return empty-handed.
What a coincidence.
Kalira is unsurprised in eating porridge.
Which is
You
also
see-
unsurprising.
You see a defeated look on Kato's face as his shoulders are kind of sunken. He's clearly agitated, hasn't had a good night's sleep in several days, has been surviving off trail rations, and to top it all off, there are no bandits in tow.
I'm happy to see you.
I pretend to be injured.
Clutching her arm, stumbling.
Do you actually?
A limp on my right leg. Yeah, why not?
'Cause
Nope.
it's-
Bluff.
Okay.
That's the worst bluff.
I roll my eyes.
So does the dog. Just eye roll, nudges at Ionia.
I realize how poorly I'm doing and do one of those like anime rub behind my head, like squinty eyes laugh kind of deal.
You did that in the text RP too, I noticed.
One bead of sweat goes down Ionia's forehead, but only like halfway.
One bead of sweat. And there's like little like blue squiggles under her eyes.
Yeah.
Lines across my cheeks.
All right. Well, you can probably guess we struck out.
Oh, you mean you went out into the wild, wild wilderness to look for 4 people and you couldn't find them?
5.
Oh, well.
They all split up at some point. There seemed to have been some kind of disagreement among them, and they all kind of scattered to the wind. So we had to pick what we thought the best set of tracks to track, but we struggled.
It also appears that one of them got into a scuffle with something. My guess is probably our fairy dragon friend, though. Can't say for certain. With that said, I'm gonna get some porridge and take a well-deserved nap, so please don't disturb me unless it's important. As he grumbles into the fort and disappears behind the door.
Fair enough.
Cal will turn to the Arturus and say, "Well, I don't know about you, Vilmaya, but this past week seems very uneventful for us, and I'm sure your God would not appreciate an unprofitable span of days such as these. I think tomorrow we need to get these folks in gear, refocused. What do you say?"
I'm a little taken aback by you directly speaking to me.
Talk to you before.
Yeah, but I didn't just say that out loud. I just want you to know.
He feels personally attacked.
Well, I was hoping to obviously find these bands. We might have to do it the hard way, it sounds like. Anything to get out of here, though, I agree.
Well, if from what the other fop said, the horny one, they seem to be what?
What?
That's the story. That's the story. Cato told of him. He likes to dibble and dabble, as it were.
Oh,
It sounds like it was just one lady.
So
all right. Anyway,
I thought we were talking about the trappers. Like,
I thought we were talking about the trappers too.
when did I send that out?
I mean, there's definitely some undercurrent there, but I'm not gonna step on that. Oh yeah, we go off hunting. That's what we do.
For 2 weeks, and we don't talk to anyone, and then we come back, and we don't talk about it then either. Oh, fops.
Oh boy.
But
this could be considered derogatory, All the...
Let's talk about the context of the setting. What the bandits, if they were after us, like I said, they'll find us. Sure, it would be advantageous to get a jump on them, but I've never been in the business looking for fights. So I say we go about conquering these lands, find more profits, more for us, and eventually we will become a force that is undeniable.
I would like to believe they would come for us. If this is the only place they know to come, and they continue to come here, rather than attempt to find us in the great wilderness, as you described, that concerns me.
You think it's a a responsibility of ours to protect the Olegs.
I mean, it sort of is the only semblance of civilization that we've found out here, in a sense, yes.
Oh,
Well, I mean,
come now, you stodgy old priest. You can't sit behind walls and pretend that you'll reclaim these lands by sitting at the. If you
And
want to
besides,
reclaim the
they have-
lands, you gotta go reclaim them.
That stodgy old priest sitting behind the walls, Jod probably at least looks up for a second.
What,
Fucking-
I
they
was just
have,
advocating
Keston
looking
and
for the
Jod.
bandits.
Yeah, I think that was a misunderstanding. A bit of a misunderstanding.
You made it sound like let's just stay here.
Well, my concern is protecting this place because yeah.
They
What
have
was-
Keston and Jod to protect them. They've been doing an excellent job. Everybody
I mean,
alive?
they haven't
Everybody
really
happy?
done any job.
Yes, they did. There's been several attacks that they've protected Oleg and Svetlana from.
I still want to weigh in, but I'm sleeping.
Is that
Slash
true?
eating porridge.
Yeah, they
We literally
at
just
least one. There's at least one.
There have
Yeah,
been, since
several.
the campaign started, there were 2 attacks. There had been several prior. The first attack was repelled by y'all. The second attack was repelled by Jod and Keston.
Yeah, so there's been one, and it was the one where
I
they
thought there
tried to
was-
throw fire and then spook them.
Burn
Mhm.
themselves.
I thought there was one before Jod arrived that was just Keston. When we came back with Jod, I thought Keston said that there had been an attack.
Yes, there had been one more minor skirmish for a total of 3. But I guess also what I'll say, if you guys leaving the fort undefended is leaving the fort with Keston, the 3 individuals in Keston's retinue, and Jod for a total of 5 people.
Yeah,
And
I'm not-
catapults. They have catapults.
and cat-
They did fix those, actually.
Yeah,
As
I
I
mean,
recall.
they don't need an army. 5 of them is just as many as us. If we can go out and storm their camps, surely the 5 of them can protect this fort with
I mean,
catapults.
again, to be clear, my position was never we should sit here and defend this place as full-time guards. That was not my point was just that we have a moral obligation to feel as though we are protectors of this place.
Yeah, I got you.
I feel like we're protectors of this place, but the role that we play is seeking out the baddies. The role that Keston and Jod play is stationary.
That is what I said to begin with, so thank you for agreeing with me.
Good.
And restating
then.
my position.
Yeah. I
I'm
feel
glad
like
we
we're all-
agree.
I feel like we're all agreeing but arguing about.
Yeah, I
you
don't
know.
understand what's
I
happening.
think
now.
I think we're just all so used to arguing that we don't know how to agree.
It's your default setting. Just argue.
That is what I'm saying. God damn. God.
Kalira kind of clears it up. But as I was saying, do you feel that the prophets are important? Correct?
No. Profits?
Yes, prophets.
Is how many P's are in that word?
Prophets.
That's not what taxation is about.
Prophets like holy men?
No.
No, like the money, the
That-
coin.
That was on me. I knew he meant PROFITS,
Yeah.
but I couldn't not poke at it.
Right.
Oh yeah, no, I was just making a joke because our tourists might care about profits.
You said I don't. Wasn't this a private conversation?
That's what I thought.
Everyone's just like, hey,
Oh, hi, what are you guys talking about? Sits down.
That was out of character. Sorry, I don't have character
The
voices.
acoustics in all legs are amazing.
Yeah.
Ionia is listening at the door. I'm just kidding. She's not. Go ahead. Go about your business.
oh my goodness. So, right, I don't care about profits. I believe what profits is. Not profit is. I believe what I said there.
Right. So, I mean, what haven't you not come here to ensure that something comes of this, other than just watching the fob trip over himself?
I mean, I've come here to watch over the little, but in the meantime, if along the way I can bring some semblance of civilized order to these areas, to these lands, that would be obvious. An Abadarian boon, as they might say.
And civilization is wrought on gold. At least the civilizations that I know of, anyway.
It's not my place to comment on the workings of the marketplace, but what I can tell you is that taxing is when done correctly, not about making profit, but instead about building and the cohesion of the group. Does that make sense?
It doesn't. But I'm no theologian.
I knew not like what? No, money's about getting rich.
I just want to know if I haven't. I just wanted to know if I had anyone else on this little crew who can see the big picture. But
I mean, put it this way: your little maneuver there at the silver mine was good. I think I would support things like we might just have a point of disagreement on where the money goes after we get it.
Well, it is the allocation of funds is no concern of mine.
You just want a full treasury. You don't care where it gets spent. Is that what I'm understanding?
No. Well, let's just say I know where it's going to be spent. The importance is that we get it.
All right. Well, I don't like. I mean, I'm thinking I don't like the sounds of what you just said. What I will say is, actually, I won't say anything. I'll just kind of stare at you
through the golden mask.
Yeah,
And I'll step back. That might
we'll just do that all night. But I got a spell for this. You don't.
Real awkward.
Might wink once.
Are they
Our
gonna
Taurus casts keep watch and doesn't have to fall asleep.
Are we all in agreement that we should all go explore some more?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone was not going to say that. I was just doing some RP stuff with Esker to make him feel uncomfortable.
Our Taurus wants to stay
Good
here.
job.
You're welcome.
Okay, fair enough. So
Right.
it sounds to me like the morning dawns, and we head back out. Is that fair statement?
So Cato leaps from his bed, finally getting a proper night's sleep that's not on the ground. Has a renewed sort of pep in his step or a jig in his jog. I don't know how to describe it, but clearly his mood has improved from the night before.
Did you jump out of the bed?
Pretty much, like
That was super loud. Why would you do that?
ready to get back. You know what they say, when you fall off your horse, you get back up on that horse.
I've never heard this expression. No one I know growing up ever owned a horse.
Well, yes, that is a thing, Esker. Shut up. All right, so we all eating breakfast?
Everybody eating breakfast. Porridge is yummy. And back out into the wild, I take it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Should we
sounds
focus our search on the forest now, since we know they're kind of skulking around in there, or?
I mean, we don't really know that.
Yeah,
We
let's
go to the forest, or we can go out east. Those are the options.
let's take a look at our
Or
map
west,
here.
excuse me.
Yeah.
We've done well, in the plains at least, without going deep in the forest, we've done 2 full rows. We skipped a row because we had to go to the old sycamore and then the soot scales and Nettles Crossing. We've explored Nettles Crossing fully, right? I don't see a marker there, but I thought we explored that one.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and put the marker on. Because that was like the very last thing we did last time. With Nettles Crossing. Bang!
And Jod's thing's in the west. Near where that compass is, I believe. Or out that way anyway.
somewhere vaguely off in that direction. He's not sure.
Is he gonna want to come with us?
Probably not now. Jod is...
I mean, when we explore over yonder way.
You could certainly ask him. He probably doesn't sleep. He's probably not sleeping for the same reasons Arcturus doesn't. When you guys are out in the wild, he just casts Keep Watch on himself and just vigilant over the fort with his bow.
I'm going to ask him about his... He was on a pilgrimage, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to ask him about his pilgrimage and what his plans were going forward. He's been here for a while now. Not that I want to get rid of him, but just...
You're on a pilgrimage. Beat it.
So when are you going to go do that thing you told us you're going to do?
Just like, have you abandoned... So,
Oh, wow.
I don't know how to word this without coming off kind of dickish.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard.
It's only the only way you could go. You're questioning his faith.
No, I'm just going to say... I will say... So I've noticed you've been... Or we've had the pleasure of your company for a while now. This pilgrimage you spoke of before, is there something keeping you from it? Anything we can assist with?
Not in so many words. I still see visions of the old temple at the night, but I would be remiss if I were to leave Oleg and his porridge undefended. He kind of like half smiles at that. I wish I could go out. I understand its importance, but I also understand that this community needs me right here, right now.
Cato nods. I would stay for the porridge too, if given the choice.
Indeed.
Very well. Well, as I said, we enjoy your company, so... But we must be on our way again.
Of course. He nods and goes back to scanning the horizon.
This is the moment when you would say, in a fever dream, I cut your head off.
Can I make a sense motive on his statement?
Yeah, sure.
Damn.
Okay.
Did you say damn before you rolled?
No, I see it before you guys do, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Split second.
Because I heard the I got a crit enthusiasm in the voice, and then I see it. So Jod is not telling you everything. He's not lying, but the reasons for one middle-aged man to come out into a dangerous place by himself would need to be pretty pulling, shall we say, because you've already seen him get captured once. He's probably partially staying at the fort because the fort is safe. Certainly he is still praying to Erastil, receiving spells from Erastil, and his intent to protect Oleg, Svetlana, the fort, and probably to some extent the five of you is that's genuine, but you don't know the entire story.
Gotcha. Didn't need a roll to figure that one out, though. Kind of had that.
But the roll confirms it. He's definitely not being completely upfront with you.
I feel like this is a bridge Arcturus is going to need to cross, because it's not really my place to question him on his faith and faithy stuff. So I accept his response and nod back in acknowledgement and proceed back to the party.
Okay.
So here were my thoughts. As far as exploration goes, we can kind of make our way back that way, but to not waste time, I'm going to take out my erasable Sharpie and start writing on the map. So we have these. I'm going to put little circles. I'm going to delete these after, so don't worry. So we have these unexplored, but then we also have this kind of stuff here.
Where did we find the old tree with the stash? I feel like
was. I maybe forgot to mark that too. That was. Yeah, you're right.
I think that was the one in the middle.
Right there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, I can delete that. Oh, you delete it for me. Cool. So, I'm trying to think of the way we can do this. That's like.
Just go through the forest first, and
Yeah.
then come out of
Yeah.
the forest.
We
Back up.
could. We could go kind of southwest, explore through, come around, back down to where the Nettles and the Soot Scale crossing is. By that point, I don't know, maybe we'll have come across some bandits, leveled up a bit, and we're pretty much close to the Staglord's Fort at that point. We might be in a position to.
How do we think the mules are going to fare traveling through the forest?
About as well as everybody else. They're not
Yeah.
necessarily like dangerous in and of themselves. It's just like it's going to be slow going for everybody.
Okay,
We're not
but they're
right.
able to do
We're
it
not-
though.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not riding them either. So, and they're very like sure-footed.
Hmm.
As much as I would love
Very
to,
Do you
High
have any plans
praise.
before?
as much as I would love to hitch them to a carriage so that we could, not have to walk that. The
Yeah,
wouldn't-
carriage I don't
wouldn't
think is
do well-
gonna.
do well in the forest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a broken axle waiting to happen.
But we do have a total of 3 horses and 2 mules now.
Yeah.
And it takes 2 horses to pull a carriage. That's what I was kind of thinking we could do once we have
Civilization.
civilization.
A road
Right.
or two.
Yeah.
But
Oh, that'll be a fun map to draw on when we're drawing the roads and villages and things on this map. Good.
Yeah. All right. So these are kind of like I don't want to go too far west, so that I don't think we should go beyond the forest, beyond the West Forest, because that takes us way far out from where
So-
our
I was
big
saying
red X is.
we get these and then go south into the forest once we cross these 3.
Yeah, I mean there might
Well,
be
technically
camps
this
up
one.
here.
So I think, correct me if I'm wrong, before we started on this excursion, I think we were kind of told like not to worry about anything above Oleg's,
Yes.
because
Oh,
Oh, okay.
Oleg's is kind of where the stolen land, like the border is kind of like.
I thought it was just
just the ones where the border was.
yeah.
The
That's what I
border is
thought.
basically the road there, yeah. Up
Right.
farther,
So-
like if you were to go that direction where the arrow is pointing now, that would eventually take you towards the region is known as the Glenabin Uplands. There's a river. to
That's where I'm
cross.
from.
Exactly.
So I mean, so these 2 are ones that we can check or
Yeah.
are already checked.
Any,
that's what I was
any
saying.
hex on the board is a hex that can be checked.
Right. So we go across here. Stop playing swords with me.
Really enjoying watching dueling arrows.
That's what we're playing now. Dueling arrows. Got it.
Yeah.
Just the tips.
Oh, good.
And the docking portion of the game has begun.
Okay.
All right. So what?
All right. So here's
This is what drives our horse over the edge.
and we're done. He goes home. Our Taurus goes home. All right. Here's my thought then. I'm gonna draw a line here.
Okay.
Here. So how do we want to do this?
What about this? Oh, this way.
Yeah, I'm wondering if we want to go to the right or if we want to like go further down that way, or if that's going a little too. I think that's.
I mean, that's just kind of like leaving this one an awkward thing we have to address later on.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. so
Let's
then
do a zigzag.
here,
Yeah.
here, across.
No, down.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me-
This hex we have already explored, right?
Yes.
Yep. That is another thing that is important to point out is the river is deep and it is treacherous. So far,
So we'll need a way to cross.
You have so far found 2 crossings. One of them is disheveled and haunted. The other one was Thornford.
Oh, okay.
Certainly, you could also...
So what we might need to do then is go around the river up here?
Exactly, yeah.
We'll cross that bridge when we get to it, huh?
Ha!
I hate you.
So should we...
No.
Should we come in here and explore the top half of this one first, and then come around and then explore the bottom half?
Yeah, so we're gonna have to.
Well, depend. I'd say we'll get there, and then if we can cross it, we cross, and if we don't, then that'd be.
That's true. We might find we might find another crossing.
Yeah, I mean, just in case we don't, though.
I mean,
It's better to
worst
have
case scenario, I'm gonna push a tree over it. I'm not joking.
I mean, how wide is this river,
I'm
though?
not joking.
That's
Wider than
like that might
trees.
work for a creek.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, I hate that we have those 2 up there that we didn't. Did we seriously not do any of?
Are you talking about, like,
How do I
here,
ping? I forget how to
here?
ping.
No, like here.
Oh,
Here.
yeah. Ping is a hold down left mouse button. Yeah.
Yeah. So we
Oh,
these three
I
here.
actually have this one as being explored on our map. This is. Oh wait, no, that's this one. My bad.
All right, then we should probably.
Well, that's what I was saying, because that's going the route we're going. We can go up, and on the way back, we can get those.
Wait, no, I do actually have those ones marked. We explored this one on Rova 12 or 13.
Okay, fair enough. They probably just got deleted when I deleted some lines then.
Yeah, I could have swore we wouldn't have. I thought for sure we had that whole row done.
Yeah, I think you're right.
You guys laugh at my calendars.
No, I appreciate
true,
that there's
I do.
somebody here
Yeah.
also doing the Lord's work.
We have, but then we just did the center one here, right?
Yeah.
Let's scroll down. We've only done the center.
Yeah,
Yes.
because from there you can see like the old sycamore and stuff.
Okay, so it looks like we can go around. So I'm gonna ping. It looks like we can, if we go to this hex, we can go around the river, right? Like where I'm pinging,
Yeah,
Maybe.
and make our way down here.
you can.
It
Yeah.
looks like, yeah. So let me redraw this. And then we can cross at Thorn Ford again if need be,
Okay.
and make our way back out to the plains, hit the cross here. And at that point, I feel like we can reassess the situation. I don't think we need to plan out any further than that.
Yeah, you guys are looking at days of travel, so things certainly will happen between here and there.
Oh, I guess we missed one. Hold on. Sorry. Correction.
Oh my goodness.
Because we missed this one here.
Well, that's because of the river.
But what you could do is you could do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of friends in my D&D life that would now say something horrible about what I've drawn on the board, but
We're not that kind of people.
we're no longer 18.
Okay, so that's fair.
It's not a tumor.
It's not a tumor. I'm just so happy that he's DLC in Mortal Kombat 11 and during his big fancy moves, get over here. I love that so much.
We explored this one as well. This is where the cache was, right?
No, that's
Cache was in the middle.
right yonder.
Cash is
Oh,
in the
this
middle.
one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See what Cache is?
Yeah, we just went right with that.
All right. There we go. So we're going to hit. I'm going to ping here. We're going to hit that, that, then move up here. Then we'll have to move back through this one that we've already explored to get to this one. Cross the river here, hit this one, move through this one, hit this one. Then we're kind of back to Nettles Crossing where we left off, but we've explored
Yep, pretty much.
chunk of the jungle.
That would be a sizable portion of the map indeed. Okay, so then as we head out, I know the normal plan has been Senya on horseback in the lead to scout ahead.
Yep.
Do we want to maintain that, or do we want to all be together as one?
I don't know how well that would work in the forest.
We had a good plan. I say we stick with it.
Yeah. Not sure how that. Yeah, that's true. I don't know how that work. How that'll work in the forest. I guess it's still fine.
It's
right?
still the same situation because we're all half speed.
Yeah, the horse will still be faster, but
Yeah, it seems like a good. She's got.
The thing is,
she's
in the
got
forest,
survival.
it's much easier to accidentally roll up on something and be in over her head.
or something roll up on you and you don't know it's there.
Right. I feel like in the forest it's better for us to stick together. Also, are we just not concerned about this up here?
Yeah, we got it. That's on the mark. We're going from the south.
We're
I
hooking
thought
up.
we don't know that we can
Yeah,
cross here though.
Like we'll cross that bridge when we get there. We'll see what's there.
Okay. Or we won't if there's not a bridge.
Yeah, then we won't be able to explore the whole tile.
And we'll
At
have to
that
come back
time.
to it and that will be annoying.
Welcome to Pathfinder.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna retrace steps
Part
at
of
some
the
point.
storm.
Okay.
Yeah. So into the hex.
Why not go?
Because then we can't explore we'd have to hit it twice.
Either way, we're retracing steps, no matter which
Retracing
way no matter which way you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we come at it from the north and can't cross the river, the south remains unexplored.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but the thing is we can come down here, explore the north part of the river, then come around and then explore the south part of the river. Whereas if we just come up here, then we're just leaving this unexplored.
Yeah, that's a good point. I want to disagree with you, but I really can't.
I am very smart.
I didn't want to have to redraw my path again. Good thing it's an erasable Sharpie.
Yeah.
I mean, I had already pointed that out. You guys really should listen to me more.
Nah.
Okay, so while the map is being drawn, I guess really quickly, Senya in the lead. If you could give me, it probably takes you guys to get where I moved Kato's token, probably something more like 3 hours, given that there is road there. If you want to stop and explore that hex, it takes a day, and Senya is the first person to arrive.
Yep, we'll explore every text we reach.
Okay, so then to
Even the road hex?
Oh,
Not
yeah.
that
Let's
The next one.
skip the road. Let's skip the road hex. Yeah.
Sure. So then
'Cause-
another now 5 hours. Whoops. Another 5 hours for 8 out total, and you guys arrive there. And then it'd be a full day to explore the hex if you guys want to make perceptions, survivals. Senya, you don't really like in the lead. You don't find any bandit tracks. You don't find any really much of anything. The occasional, again, some kind of animal.
So would the kit work for this? Sort
For
of thing?
getting along in the wild, yes, just not like finding tracks kinds of things. She also would know with survival checks, like if there's going to be a storm.
Cool.
Presently, it's like getting colder, but it's not so cold as you need to worry about the livelihood of your animals or you guys.
Oh, we didn't think about our animals.
Yeah, there might not be a time limit on getting
We can-
civilization set up,
we
but
can
there's
hunt and
definitely
get
a
pelts.
time limit on it.
Make blankets for them.
Is there a winter version of this map with like where it's all white and snowy?
We can make one. Okay, so then to explore that hex is a perception check or survival check from anyone who wishes to participate. and a full day of travel.
Man, I ran out of luck on my survival check.
You did too.
It's okay, Arcturus and
But
Ionia
Ionia
have that
seems
one
to
on
keep just
lockdown.
having the big punch in there. Nothing here. No tracks, no really much of anything. Obviously, the forest looms to your south.
There's where the fun begins.
And that's where the fun begins.
I guess we might as well go into the forest now.
Alrighty. And is this still a Senya is riding first? Or is this where we want to close ranks?
I kind of agree with Ionia. I guess we can kind of put it to a group. I know Cal wants to keep things as is. I think we should close ranks in the forest. Don't want to... It's riskier to have someone off on their own.
Okay.
And this is roughly where we were when we saw the scuffle with the signs of struggle when we
Yeah.
were doing the bandit tracking. So I would argue caution here, and we should probably close.
Wait,
ranks.
what? Signs of struggle. What's going on?
Shit. Well, no, it was.
Well, no, we
Well, we-
told you. We found like what was like signs of struggle, and we believe one of the bandits ran into our fairy dragon friend and went back into a forest.
That was
so.
more like this direction, though.
Yeah, but forests are forests. Like this is yeah. The
Classic.
thing moves fast. The thing moves fast. It's the northern forested area of the map. I just think he could there could be dangers here, and there probably is.
Sure. Okay.
So
So-
my recommendation is we close ranks, but I'm not gonna force the issue. What do you guys think?
I think close ranks.
Yeah, I mean, if
Same.
the dragon might be around, then that seems like a reasonable precaution.
Okay. So you guys all...
Yeah, you guys will need someone to point out that it's an illusion.
Mm-hmm.
You guys all meet up and you head into the forest. It's quieter than it should be, but nothing jumps out at you. And
Higher
then,
than it should be.
yeah, like you'd expect to hear birds and things of that nature, but you don't really.
Sense motive on the wilderness.
Okay.
Wait, really?
Oh, actually?
I mean, yeah, a
Is that
DC.
thing?
It's a DC 20 to get a hunch. Anytime you like, this is sus. However,
20 to get.
Not this
yeah.
time.
Ione is not.
I'm
so
all
sure.
out of my nat 20s.
Mhm.
Wait, we can actually sense motive on the wilderness?
You aren't sense motiving the wilderness so much as your character is being exposed to stimuli and then believes they aren't getting the full picture. So then you make a sense motive.
It's like an intuitive.
All
Get a
right,
hunch.
can I give that a go?
Yeah.
Asker's
Soon as
getting all
this-
excited because he gets to use his wisdom score and then fails immediately.
Well,
Oh, no,
let's
that's
see.
Kato.
Hold on.
Never mind, that was Kato. I thought that was you.
Aha!
So
Wow,
Kato's
okay.
probably a little
Hey.
salty that there's mud in his boots. Ionia is communing with her new dog friend. But it's Arcturus that realizes that if the forest is quiet, that's probably because the animals know to avoid this part of the forest. Why that is hard to say and could be things ranging anywhere from perhaps this particular part of the forest is overhunted, or perhaps there's something that lives here that likes to eat kind woodland critters, or that fae are running around. There could be somewhere in this area the barrier between planes might get a little thin, and maybe this is where they're crossing over from the first world, and like anything in between. But it's definitely like you should hear and see more wildlife than you are.
The decision to close ranks was probably not a bad one.
Arcturus can probably confirm that. Yeah.
So yeah, I guess I would say it seems the animals have learned to avoid this area. I did see some trappers passing through. Maybe we should be wary of any hunting traps that might be around. Hopefully that's all it is.
It would be awfully irresponsible if they left their traps here and went home. But you never know. my kind are not known for being too courteous when it comes to the wilds.
I'm tempted to say something there, but I won't.
All right. Well, explore with caution.
Alrighty.
Senya, I think this is your playground.
So with the Masterwork survival kit, do I put in +2 for the modifier to do a survival check?
Yeah, right. You would just add 2 more to what you're rolling normally.
Got it.
Okay. And if I could, my first question is it only Senya who's out looking around?
Yeah, I'll take a
And
look
clear it.
around. I'll listen with my pointy ears.
With your pointy ears. And Ionia.
Are you out? I thought we were all staying together.
We are.
We are. We're
Oh, okay. So we're all looking.
Okay,
Together.
okay, fair enough. In that case, if I could get a perception check from Doggo.
Booyah!
And Doggo sees it, and Kato probably sees it like in the split second before Doggo sees it, and Doggo doesn't put Doggo's foot down in a bear trap.
Aha!
As you go looking around, there's about a dozen of them. You guys almost like walk into a minefield.
Ugh.
well. Whoever left these around was very responsible.
Is there bait in the traps?
Is there bait in the traps?
You gonna eat it?
There's
Seriously?
is that food? Goes and dives.
This is out of character. But do you remember what pelt the trappers presented to Oleg?
Bear. That's what I'm asking. What if there's food in it? 'Cause I want to see what kind of food is in there.
There's no food in the traps. They're kind of just strewn out and about. And as like Kato is looking around, there are some even like behind you guys
Is that
that you
Kalira
just
trap?
That we walked past.
that you
So-
luckily enough didn't step in. There's
So if
probably
they're
a lot.
Everybody-
if they're
Not
traps without bait, either they're really bad traps or these aren't meant to catch food. They're meant to catch people.
Maybe, or just wildlife passing through. But I'm gonna immediately, when I see there's actually traps behind us too, in addition to in front of us, I'm gonna tell all of us to stop moving, halt. We lucked out, and I'm gonna point out the traps behind us that we walked right past without triggering.
Can I get out my 10-foot pole and start stripping them?
Yeah, by all means.
I have one too.
Wait, didn't you actually have a pole? Just occurred to me that wasn't a joke.
No,
It's a very
both
good
Senya-
magic, or not magic. It's a very good mundane item to carry around for just
Yeah,
this
both
reason.
Senya and Cal have 10-foot poles. They can just start.
Senya
Alright,
just draws
what
her
do you need?
rancer, starts stabbing down.
No, she actually has a pole.
No, awesome,
Yeah.
good, fair enough. The dog gets a little upset, as Doggo almost puts foot in the trap, stops, growls at the trap a little, ears get laid back.
Oh, could you imagine?
I'll pull him back a little bit and start kind of petting him and calming him down, telling him it's okay.
Imagine if we had all failed our perceptions and just went right into.
And everybody starts getting a bunch of
Every one
D6s
of us
thrown.
loses a leg.
Yeah.
Now, you guys are really good at bear traps. You're really bad at bushes, but bear traps were fine. But yeah, there are a lot of them. Most of them are just presently sitting open. Some of them have been sprung, but there's nothing caught. And there's no blood or fur or even signs of a struggle.
How much would it weigh to carry all these?
A lot. Each one of them weighs, oh geez, I want to say probably about 10 pounds.
Oh, it's not
That's not
economical.
Yep, I got that right. They weigh 10 pounds. Nice. They also have probably about a pound each worth of chain that in some cases has been peatened into a tree or the ground. In some cases, they just lay out. Certainly, you could take some of them.
Right. Yeah, I'm just going to anyone that I trip, I'm going to kind of just throw it in like a pile, and I'll just take one, just in case.
Okay.
I feel
Could be
inclined
useful.
to leave a sign for them that says something about being fined for I don't know,
Leaving
trapping
trap.
on our kingdom's property when they are not citizens, but we don't have a kingdom yet.
Yeah.
You should
Yeah, I
remember
was gonna
that they're
say, I mean-
here.
I-
Maybe
I'd say-
someone could make use of them.
So, in
We
exploring
can bring
this
them back to
tile,
Oleg.
in
They're too heavy.
exploring this tile fully, would we be able to like discover the locations of all the traps and clear them out of this area?
Yeah, you could. Since you're carrying the 10-foot poles, and even if you weren't, you're in a forest, just grab a stick. You could definitely, it would take a full day, and of course the chance exists that in the act of disabling or removing or flagging or however all of them, you could always put a foot wrong.
Yeah.
I
But
think
it is a thing that could be done.
for the
I think the idea is
we
we would
almost-
want to like kind of dowsing rod it, like put a stick down anywhere we're about to step, keep the dogs following like directly in my tracks kind of deal.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So
But
then
I think it is important that we remove this threat because we just kind of stumbled in here and almost lost our limbs and lives. Anyone else could trounce through here unsuspecting, and this is really, really negligent. So
okay.
yeah.
So then anybody who wants to participate in that's probably what Doggo sounds like. In the dismantling of the traps, if you could make perception checks for me. Basically just a big group perception challenge.
No one roll on that one, please. All right, well,
Senia's on point.
Oof.
Senia's just like boom, 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 boom. Kalira probably enjoys the sound the bear trap makes when it goes. And Kato rolls his like 4th natural 20 on perception checks today. Eyes of a hawk and the ears of a fox. Arcturus? Arcturus also is super good.
and Ionia loses a leg.
However,
You hate
Ionia,
to see it.
yeah, hate to see it. As you guys are moving through, you turn back to talk to one of the dogs, and then as you like take a step back accidentally, you hear the telltale sound. Does a 20 hit you?
Oh yeah.
And everybody hears Ionia cry out for 8 points of damage as a bear trap closes around her leg.
Ah.
Worse.
Please,
I would
just
go
sit her,
over to her immediately.
get her out of here.
With the 1d2, though, the 1 indicates that this trap there is a chain that runs into a tree, and someone has peatened the chain into the tree.
Okay, so I did find the right stats.
Yeah.
All right, well, we got to get this off of her.
These things are badass.
They're not
Does anyone
bad.
Does anyone have disarm trap or?
Nah, I
is
could
it-
just Kadir is this disarm the trap. She already disarmed it pretty well.
disable device. I mean.
But I think I could pry it open.
You certainly could try a strength
can
check
I-
to just manually.
Oh wait. Never mind. I don't want to disable device. I thought that was a thing I was good at, but I'm not.
Yeah, just hold still.
Yeah.
Dr. Kalira, have a look at you, darling.
Oh god.
She draws her
Um,
greatsword.
Xenia will help out.
Okay, so the pair of you, Senia dismounts, Kalira goes up, and you guys tug and you pull, but try as you might, you can't get this thing off her leg. Probably,
Oh, wow.
you don't do anything mechanically bad to Ionia, but it probably hurts. The jostling. of
Ouch,
the-
guys, be careful.
Okay, looks like I'm gonna have to put my back into it, aren't I?
Is there any do any of you guys have any technical aptitude when it comes to this? Is there any sort of release or something on the
I
device?
just get really pissed at it.
I don't have any.
I'm in pain. That's not funny.
skill.
So
has anyone used one of these traps before that might know a way to
Like one of our hunters or survivalists?
maybe?
That would come in the form of the strength checks, yeah. Or you could, if Ionia could make a escape artist check while the barbarians are yoinking and yanking, she could try to pull through. Other than
I'm not going to even attempt that.
look, here's what we do. Ksenia, give me a hand. I'm just going to look. Cast a spell on me. I'm talking to Ionia.
Presumably.
Cast a spell on you?
Yeah, just anything. Just do it.
Any spell. Just
just really, you need to make her mad. It sounds like Kalira is not trying to resist, so there's no will save. The spell goes off, and now you know a little more about Kalira as she begins to
I feel
froth at the
closer to
mouth.
you. So when she says cast a spell on her, I'm gonna kind of raise my eyebrow and be like, "The fuck are you talking about?" And then, oh, my bad.
You're fine.
easy
And
there.
I'll pull out my planchette and I'm just gonna look at her through it for a second and ask my ancestors to grant me insight.
Okay. I will say that you know the family member who is the wait, actually, if I remember correctly, Kalira has a family member who's presently less than free.
Yeah, a couple.
And the one that is the most
Less
pertinent
than
to
free.
her events being in Kingmaker is now that knowledge hits Ionia in the chest. Probably the weight of that knowledge.
Your secrets are coming undone, Cal.
You should have had me cast a spell.
Sorry.
You could have just had a
That's
plus
right.
one.
Detect magic on you or something.
Yeah.
All right.
My
So
ancestors are telling me you're from a troubled family.
yeah, that's I think you could get that by the hair dye, but that's fine. And then Cal's gonna ask
That's a broad brush.
Ksenia to well, I mean, when you see an emo kid,
Attacked! Personally attacked! Hide snake bites. No one look at my piercings. No one look at my long hair.
Ksenia is going to ask, Cal's gonna ask Ksenia for just give me a hand with this, and she's gonna rage and try to do it again.
Okay, fair enough.
Like, what does the assist thing do? I forgot.
You'll get basically what happened was Kalira had a 15 because you rolled a 13 and then Senia beat a 10. So then the 13 gets a +2.
I see.
So we'll do that again, but this time you have much more strength.
Indeed.
And then Senya.
Not very strong. Right
So
now.
Kalira gets a pretty good grip on it this time, and it moves a little, and the teeth come out of like just above Ionia's ankle, about 6 inches. But as Senia tries to pull, Senia can't quite get a hold on it, and Kalira's strength gives out, and the trap closes again.
Ouch.
I just visualize like it just opening and then clamping back down on her leg.
Mm-hmm.
What if we fashion it into a clever boot?
Or we amputate the foot.
And then reattach it.
I mean,
Heel
I
check.
Oh, I just realized I was on mute this whole time.
That'd be great.
Do
As she's screaming, "Don't cut my foot off!"
I mean, yeah, that was basically I was complaining about how it hurt. Do I take any additional damage from that? Because it essentially just closed on me again.
You'll take additional damage if they roll badly, but so far
Okay.
it's just mechanically really uncomfortable.
All right, so Cal's gonna say one more time.
Oh my
Feeling.
god.
Can we cut the foot off?
One more time.
Oh, is there anything? I'm trying to think. Is there any? Can I, like, try to use my escape artist to try to pull her leg out when they pull it open?
You can use it as part of the aid another, I'll say.
Does this count as a skill check? Because I could use guidance.
I think
That's not really
guidance
a
works for
skill.
ability checks as well, though.
Oh, okay.
And as such, I will also begin praying to Abadar as they're doing this.
Sure.
Pray. Please don't.
Tossing a guidance around.
So what's that do? Adds
I
Plus
get,
one.
I get +1.
this one.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we can both. Senya will assist with pulling it open, and I will assist with trying to
Oof.
get the leg out.
Was a bad roll.
Doggo tries to pull as well and is just unable to get much of anything.
Oh my goodness.
Come on.
Uh,
Kato can pick berries but can't pull a leg.
Pretty much. So it's Doggo starts trying to like use Doggo's paws to pull it open a little. Can't really get anywhere. Kalira struggles with this one, and it comes to a point almost where like a twisting motion almost happens while the trap is still on Ionia's leg. Senya is able to stop it just short of like ripping a tendon.
Ionia screams out in pain.
It probably hurts real bad, yeah.
I mean, I've
If
known
I ever
many
see
women.
those fops and I shake my fist.
I know many women with peg legs. It's really not that bad. It could be quite fetching, really.
Ionia glares at Cal. Careful or I'll cast more spells on you.
Don't just make it easier for me to cut your leg off.
Oh,
Try again.
shall I then?
We're gonna try this. We're gonna try this again.
I'm gonna try again until it either comes off or the leg is lost, I guess.
Whoa.
Oh my god, it's getting worse.
It is getting worse.
Woo! All right, and Doggo will aid. Doggo got
Woo!
big woof aid. 11,
Okay.
13,
Ah,
15, and I'll assume 16 from a guidance. It's more of the same. This time, the only thing that stops Kalira tries to pull and gets too frustrated and like goes like and let it go, and the letting go would cause it to like twist and snap again, but Doggo stops Kalira from doing so, and the struggle continues.
Oh my god.
We are so bad at like
mundane
just these
things.
really mundane things. Yeah, exactly.
These dice.
The RNG giveth, the RNG taketh away.
So glad at least someone in the group has rolls high to prevent that tendon from just.
Yeah, there have been a
Can I
couple-
like study this thing and see if there's like a way to just trip something
I gotta turn it
to
to
release
whatever.
it?
From you guys studying it, it would be a matter of like manually taking it apart, or Ionia's ability to squeeze out itself, or at this point, the manual resetting of the trap, which is in the form of the
Okay.
strength check.
All right, another turn.
One more with feeling, guys.
Do we
We-
still have
We
guidance
could go
on
get
us?
some. Yeah.
Yeah, he
yeah.
keeps casting it.
Looks like it's.
There we go.
Okay.
That's something.
Okay, so
Okay.
then so a 21 and a 22 makes it a 23, which is
We all passed our assist.
not enough. So Kalira starts doing big yank, and Doggo starts like doing big yank, and then it gets open enough that Kato just like, I imagine, half tackles Ionia in such a way that her leg gets out of the trap.
Ugh. How many rounds of rage did I waste on that nonsense?
Yeah.
I believe 3.
Ionia is sitting on the ground with her leg raw and exposed, digs through her bag and pulls out what looks like a medicine bag, and she says a little prayer to her ancestor Zana. And I suppose I need to roll a d8 then?
D8.
D8 plus 3. As I scroll back up to see how much damage was. So you're still a little beat up, but you guys see the wound
Yeah.
closes.
I'm nearly full though.
You took
Mhm.
8
Cal
and you got
Cal
5
looks
back.
pooped.
Yeah, Cal goes into fatigue.
Cal just
Yeah.
finds a tree and just ah. In any case, the day passes.
I would like to look for a large stick that I can use kind of as a crutch, because I imagine I've got a little bit of a limp.
Yeah, you certainly could find something.
We are in a forest after all.
There are many a stick.
So
It's a lot of
Ionia
Menias.
Ionia is banned from trap hunting for the rest of the day.
That's fair.
But on the
She
plus,
can watch over the animals and make sure that they stay happy and fed.
but now Cal's extremely happy that she has one of these, though, seeing how effective they are. We're pretty good.
Yeah, you could definitely stop somebody in their tracks with that. And as we track over to the first of Lamashtan, you guys are... You certainly could take as many bear traps as your little heart's desire. I did not mean to put a mark in that square. That square has not been explored. Begone, Mark! I'm glad there's no one in this group whose name is Mark. Why? I like playing Pathfinder.
Do you know what my real name is?
Oh.
Yes.
I've seen everybody's real name through Patreon.
Okay,
Yeah, that's true.
Alright, fair enough.
Yeah,
Got him.
Got it.
Well
Because
played.
like I know some of you by like your character name, your gamer tag, your name on Patreon, your name on like other social media things. As I quickly, no one's named Mark. There's somebody has a name that's kind of close, but is not Mark.
Yep.
Anyway,
Correct. You would be right, sir.
What is this?
What is wrong with him?
How
It
dare you
is.
slight Marks? That's close to my name.
It's very
Marks are basically
only
my
two-
cousins.
I
letters
was talking about Teb.
Yeah, I think you meant me. I don't know why you would think your name is close to Mark, though, but it's not. It's not.
First two letters are the same.
Anyway.
I'm realizing that I might have Tibor's name completely wrong in my mind.
Should I quickly stop the recording so we can all tag up? Be like, all right, who the hell is who? Because suddenly it's become a weird doppelganger episode. Anyway, a day passes. It is the first of Lamashtan, and you guys have as many bear traps as you want. The rest are disabled, flagged, or otherwise not a threat.
Anybody
How heavy
taking
are they?
any other than me?
I
You
guess
can
I
handle that, man. It's 11 pounds, brother.
And this is
Bear
why we
trap.
bring pack mules to carry the traps.
Wait, are we
outside of
taking
the-
more than one?
Well, I can't carry any, but 'cause I got no strength.
We're not gonna load up on bear traps, are we? Seriously?
No.
I'm not taking any.
We could throw them.
Outside of the bear traps, we didn't find anything else in this hex, right?
Not really, no. Just like very clear indicators that something is hunting here, both in terms of the animals dodging it and the scars on your left leg.
I'm sure Ksenia could use one. She likes to hunt stuff, right?
Using
but-
traps.
But bear traps.
I've
Well,
seen Cabin in the Woods.
That actually probably will scar, won't it?
Yeah. There was a
No.
lot of twisting, and they didn't necessarily
Oh,
through
yeah.
and through you, but like,
I
Well, and I
kind of
didn't heal the
scoff.
full, so the magic healing probably didn't do much.
scoff and disdain at the traps.
Maybe if you
like-
pray to Abadar instead.
Oh, you're a bow hunter, huh?
I did pray to Abadar.
Clearly
Using
not enough.
traps is not a real skill of hunters. Just
I
saying.
agree. I agree. Out of character, I
it's-
very much agree.
It's the way rich people hunt. They put traps down and then they go and sit at their camp and eat porridge and drink ale or wine, and then they go check on their traps and hey, look what we caught.
Oh,
What is going on right now?
Oh, don't worry, darling. I'm not going to put an animal in this trap.
So
maybe a stag.
traps are
Maybe a stack.
so a bear trap is it's 10 pounds. It's worth 2 gold. So best we could get a gold piece each for them. Probably. Totally not worth the weight.
He said it's 11. He said it was 10 plus a 1 pound chain.
Oh, a 1 pound
Yeah.
chain.
Some
yeah.
of them might be a little closer to like 13, 14 in chain. Mechanically, they're all at 10s for easy math.
The weight to gold ratio is not worth it.
No, that's what I was saying.
And then they make an attack roll of +10 and do 2d6 plus 3 damage. And
I mean, we could take a few to set up outside the Stag Lord's fort, which would be hilarious.
What are we? Is this Home Alone? What are we doing? Set out some traps and just stand out and like moon them or something, and they'll come out. Hey, you kids!
I
Walk
mean,
right into the
Perlavash
bear
basically did the same thing to you guys.
I suppose.
Just
could
be advanced Perlavash.
I'm just saying we could potentially thin their numbers if we can set traps outside, wait for them to like go out on a raiding party, trip them, and then like ambush them after the traps, and then make
Well-
our before making our assault on.
So
on the
exactly Home Alone.
Exactly.
Does anyone here know how to use traps?
The
Nope.
the only real danger of getting caught in a bear trap that you are setting up is like should someone push you.
Yeah. It's just, you just pull them apart. It's easy.
It's easy apparently.
Pull it apart and you push down this little thing. Ow! Oh, okay. That was close, but I'll
I'm
get
not saying-
better at it.
I'm not saying we should do that. I don't want us to dismiss the possibility, like that there may be a functional use to bringing a few of these with us. But I'm good either way. I don't really care.
Yeah, I'm taking one. It's fine. I have one.
Everybody gets one,
I get none. 'Cause
but kind of probably just Cal. Okay.
Yeah, just
So then we head on into the next square, I believe.
To be clear, I did not take one.
Okay.
It-
So
I didn't.
could I load the trap and swing the chain and then chuck it at somebody's face?
can you be cabin in the woods? That very harsh mechanical risks to yourself. Yes.
Okay.
An improvised weapon with a trap on the end of it that will go off when it hits.
I believe unless he takes the throw anything feat.
Or could just take
I
throw
mean,
anything.
technically, I'm not throwing it. I'm just like swinging it like a flail at that point.
Or like a spike chain. Rather than just discusing a bear trap at somebody.
Right.
God. Whew. Okay.
All right. Back on track.
Onwards and upwards, exploring the stolen lands. The Forest takes you guys, about 6 hours moving down into yonder square. And the exploration will, of course, take you another day if you guys could make a perception check for me.
Hey, you should cast.
Oh,
cast
come
that
on.
Spell on people. Esker.
My perception's finally.
What? Just keep guidancing every time?
Why not?
I mean,
It's a
I can.
cantrip,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. But it doesn't seem we need it right now. I mean, I'm supposed to cast it before, so you're right.
Yeah.
So the farther down you guys go, it starts to get a little more... The forest wakes up, shall we say. Squirrels and birds and deer and things are all pretty prevalent out here. And matter of fact, some of them are kind of friendly. The squirrels come up and get a little too close to a horse for their own safety. They know to get out of the way of the hooves when they hoof down, doing sniffs. Birds chirp at you guys. Eventually, you guys come upon a pile of logs that seems to have fallen just kind of into a glade. There's an arm sticking out, not moving.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
We'll pull. So wait, there's a pile of logs with an arm sticking out the top.
Like out,
Out.
like perpendicular.
I'm going to draw my weapon.
Okay, I mean, I'm going to a pile of logs with an arm sticking up. But there was no other. We didn't see any other signs of like civilization getting in.
You did not.
So it's like it's like a warning, basically.
Yeah.
Does the arm look like
This is
a...
this is setting off alarm bells, so that's why.
I thought someone was like underneath the logs with their.
That's, yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
thought.
that's
too.
what
Like,
that's what I'm saying. There's a bunch of logs have fallen on somebody. The arm is sticking
crushed
out.
somebody.
Oh, like it's a living arm. Okay.
It doesn't appear to be living. It's certainly not moving.
The implication would be that the logs killed whoever
Right.
it was.
Yeah,
Does it appear fresh, though? Is the flesh rotting? Does it smell bad?
perhaps a
I'm
couple
not
of days
good.
dead.
Detect magic.
Yeah.
Detect magic.
Yep.
You get close enough to detect the magic, and you move forward, and nothing pings, but you do see it's like 6 inches in front of the outstretched fingers of the hand. There's a pretty nice hand axe that's been left to like lay in the grass, but nothing pings is magical.
Yeah. Well, if no one else is gonna do any, Cal's just gonna go over there and push off the log, see who's under there.
Oh my god.
All right, let's
Yeah,
see.
I was gonna
another
do the
strength check.
same. We're just
We're all
gonna
just
walk
cautious and
over.
then walk over and push the log.
I'll follow Cal like behind him at maybe a 3-foot distance, just to
So brave.
in case anything jumps out at him. I'm on alert,
All right.
high alert.
Thanks for having my back.
This is what you do when you have as much health as he does. Walk over and push the
Yes.
log. Yep.
Yes.
Trigger the traps with your chest. Okay, let's see that strength check. Let's watch Cal roll really bad strength check. Yeah, it's good enough.
It's fairly bad.
With a bit of effort, you can get one of the logs like up and over to reveal the body.
Rip.
What?
Press
you
F.
can- Press F indeed. They appear, though now their race is probably pancake, they appear to be a human. They wear a like kind of grungy, dirty, studded leather armor. They're lying face down.
Okay. So yeah, I guess I'll pull the body out.
Okay. And as you do to like pull it, the body comes up level with you, and the face is obviously mangled and sad. But somehow, probably because it was pushed into the clavicle of the person, it seems to be intact. It's an emblem of the Stag Lord.
Mm.
Yeah, I was just
Oh.
about to ask. Let's search the body for any clues as to what where the others might be. Maybe
Okay.
a note or something.
I'm
Sure.
going to pick up the axe and gesture to Arcturus if he can appraise it for us.
Ooh, I can do a thing with the axe too.
Can I
That's great.
appraise the act?
Yeah. It doesn't take a lot mechanically. It is a masterwork hand axe.
Okay,
Another
easy.
mass. So the same weapon that Kressel used.
Mm-hmm. The make actually appears to be
So,
pretty similar.
does it appear then that this person triggered a trap of some kind that killed them? With
Perception,
perception?
checks. Yeah,
Yeah.
to examine the scene. Ionia said she wanted to do something with the axe. But before we get to that, Arcturus, it doesn't take much. Very clearly, this was a deadfall that somebody had set up. And the person who went to go in the wrong direction had run afoul of it and triggered the trap. Logs fell, he died. However, as you find the tripwire itself, it appears that rather than this poor guy running over, tripping the tripwire by not noticing it and things falling, matter of fact, based on the way his body lie, he came from a different direction. Looks like the tripwire was severed by something sharp.
Oh.
Scandalous.
Just looking at where we currently are, this might have been one of the bandits we were pursuing fruitlessly. It's possible. Because one did head off in this direction. Just an observation.
The spell doesn't automatically detect magic items, strongly aligned items such as often have stored histories.
It's probably not going to ping anything.
Yeah, it would. You get, as you begin to detect anything resonating on this axe, you get feelings of terror, being chased through the woods by an owlbear, hoping against hope you can outrun it because you try to attack it, but your weapon is just bouncing off the hide of the creature, and then
Owlbear. What the
and then
an owlbear?
and then a snapping noise, and then no more.
Huh. Well, I think Parlavash may have played a part in this man's death.
Well, it wasn't. Did you say the tripwire was actually tripped by something sharp?
Yeah, as if someone had cut it.
Right. So he didn't run into it. Someone deliberately cut it.
Cut it as he
Can
was running
I-
through.
Can I do this on the tripwire? I guess it's probably too long ago. Never mind,
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to waste the point.
All right. Well, Cal will, I guess, just toss the body back. Huh. No harm, no foul.
So, are you? Esther's the one who discovered the cut. Is he going to inform the rest of us?
Yes, yeah. So I thought I kind of was there with just a little bit, kind of semi out of character, but yeah, I believe that it might have been the Parladash might have been responsible for why this person was running, but it looks like the tripwire itself was deliberately cut, not actually tripped.
Foul play.
Which doesn't fit what we know of our mischievous dragon.
Well, it couldn't have been the trappers that you encountered at Oleg's. The timing doesn't work out for that. Would have had to have been somebody else.
I mean, either way, we're
search-
dealing with a bandit, right? So
Yeah, but it would be very interesting to know if this was another bandit turned on them, or if we potentially have an ally out here. Search the scene for another set of footprints or something of that nature.
Sure. Perception
That'd
checks
be-
all around, yeah. Or survival. And as Ionia goes looking around, Ionia looks up, and Senia.
Whew.
How does Senia survival this? Yeah. Scratches on the trees where things have climbed. The pair of you notice there's a little nest up in the trees where, like, clearly some of the boughs of the trees have been, I won't say moved against their will, but like turned. So several of them converge into one point, whereupon there's about the size of a house cat nest.
You cut out there. I heard about the size of a house cat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
about the size of a house cat, a nest.
Sorry, could you?
Oh, a
you say that?
nest.
Yeah.
Oh, a nest. Okay.
well, we know
Um,
who is about the size of a house cat.
Is there anything?
What
like,
is-
is the nest empty?
It appears to be. You guys are looking like straight up at it.
Does it look like a bird nest, or is there like shinies in it?
Yeah, there's the sun probably hits it at some points, and bits of shiny, like, reflect back, catch the light.
Why do I have to be? Why did I have to pick Rosalind Bravo?
I will use my object reading on the nest.
I mean, you have to
Is it
get
high
to
up?
it first, wouldn't
Yeah, you
Oh,
need
is
to
it
climb
like
up.
way up there?
It's probably about 30 feet off the ground.
I could get up there.
you? Oh boy.
Well, we need me up there is the problem. Do we, we
Bring-
have
actually,
we
I
have
could
rope
just-
though.
Size
Well, we
of
have
I could just,
rope.
I could
Get
just
up
bring the
underneath.
nest down.
Yeah, he could just climb up, or we could cut the tree.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'd,
All right.
I'd rather not disturb the nest to that extent.
Look, if it's the fairy dragon's nest, then
Screw that
like,
guy.
we're,
Yeah.
we're robbing it anyway. Like, we might as well just kick it off the tree or bring
I mean,
the tree
we're
down.
not robbing it. I just want to inspect it closer. There's a very big
Wow.
difference in what we're talking about here.
I think
As
I'm
is
not
par
letting
for the
you
course
go
in
up that
Arcane
tree.
game.
While they're arguing, I'm gonna start climbing it.
Yeah, knowing Ionia, she climbs halfway up the tree, falls down, and breaks her neck.
Oh
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
I'm not trying to climb
Kato
up
There
the
wants
tree.
we
to
I'll
do
wait
the
go.
for
bad
Cal to
thing.
get up and help
Ionia
me.
wants to do the good thing. Artoris is the voice of, I'm not going to let you do that. Meanwhile,
And Cal just climbs.
Cal
Cal
just
just climbs the
puts it
tree
in
with a
Cal's
natural
mouth.
20.
yeah, Cal gets it there pretty
Cal
easily.
eats the nest.
Inside the nest, it doesn't look unlike a bird's nest, except
The dragon
bigger.
eggs taste like.
There are no eggs. However, there are like half-eaten pieces of candy that are like all covered in dirt and leaves and things like that. Bottles that
Ew.
used to be full of alcohol that are now full of nothing.
I definitely think we just found the fairy dragon, because didn't Bakken say at some point that they like
likes candy. Yep.
sweets and shiny and alcohol?
And getting tore out the
What,
frame.
what else is in there?
Just more stuff like that. I want to say like half-eaten sweet rolls and pixie sticks,
Right.
but calling them
just,
pixie sticks in the world of the Fae is an entirely different connotation. Just
Um,
things like
Wow.
Okay, I have an
Yeah.
idea here. Hang with me. Most creatures return to their homes fairly regularly. About what time of day is it?
Probably take you guys 3 or 4 hours to move to where you did. Then it's probably about 1, 2 in the afternoon.
Cal, set up
so
your
if
bear
we-
trap in the nest.
If we explore the rest of this area up here, and then return back to this nest to make camp, it seems like our fairy dragon likes alcohol, and if I recall, we seem to have kept some alcohol. Perhaps we could trade it the alcohol for information.
He doesn't. He doesn't like ale.
Don't we have wine?
Though we sold the one.
I thought you had a wineskin.
You want me to give him my kumis?
Yes.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
to that dragon.
Yes.
No, I could.
Because the dragon can fly. The dragon probably knows where the bandit camps are.
Here's what we do. We set up the bear trap in the nest.
It can't tell us anything if it's dead.
It didn't kill you.
It's much smaller than me.
I mean,
And shouldn't we be concerned about this dead person we found? Like, if the dragon did this, then we've misevaluated. It might be
it's deadly. It's dangerous.
right.
It's all
But if
right.
it didn't do it, then there's something nearby that is dangerous, working potentially in collaboration with the dragon.
It does have a friend.
It does, yeah.
So what you're telling me is we want to blow this perfectly good opportunity to get exactly the information that we were trying to get.
Look.
Because why?
Because this creature has hounded us, harassed us, hurt us, caused us bodily harm. And
You caused
we
it
haven't-
bodily harm first.
I don't see why we would even trust it if it
Yeah,
did
and
tell us anything.
It's yeah, it could, for everything it could tell us, could be a lie, leading us into some wild goose chase of, like, it's untrustworthy. We just, honestly, the sooner we bring it down, the sooner it's out of our hair.
I mean, I
I
don't know that I agree, but it seems like I'm outnumbered here, so it is what it is, I suppose.
Yeah, and I'm inclined to agree with a creature like this is inherently untrustworthy, and even if we were able to get something out of it in the long run, having such a thing in the area, like terrorizing people just for fun, and it's not something that would be safe or desirable.
So since I'm still in the tree, I'm gonna yell, "Do you want this nest or not?" Which
No, I feel like we can use the nest in order to see, this thing flies. It's very hard to. The bear trap idea might sound a little cruel, but it's, if we can disguise it in the nest, it comes down, it lands, it gets caught.
the nest is pretty small, since it's size for a cat.
Yeah. How big's a bear?
The bear trap is pretty heavy and
It's big old
might not
bear
even
trap,
stay
man.
in the stay in the
May not
tree.
even stay in the tree. I'm just trying to think, like, how can we lock this thing down when it does come back, right?
The only thing I ask is that if we do get it in a position where it like we make it quick and we are as
Yeah,
merciful
we're not-
as possible.
We're not.
I
gonna
would second
torture it.
that.
Yeah, no intentions of torturing it. We just need to get this thing out of our hair. And,
So
and it
you
does
do-
have a friend, so we do have to be wary of that. It has
That's
an
the thing
accomplice.
that's the thing that worries me is we still don't really have any idea. Like, maybe it doesn't murder people, but it has a friend who's perfectly okay murdering people. They might be nearby. They might be watching us right now, hearing us discuss this plan of ours. And I kind of cautiously look around.
So do I climb down now?
Do we want?
I mean, the reality is, if we don't try the bear trap plan, I don't know what we're trying. Like, are we going to try and shoot it with arrows?
She said she can do something with the nest if she can touch it.
She wanted to try and read.
Right.
I
psychic
could
mumbo
just
jumbo.
tell if it was in fact the dragon's nest, but it seems pretty clear that it is. So
Okay, fine then.
from down here, it's a little less obvious.
So I guess this is a Tommy question. Would the nest visibly, would the nest be able to support like the trap within it and be concealable?
Probably not. The trap fully spread out is probably like half again too big, and then also the issue is if the trap's weight does not disturb the nest and the branches, the fairy, well, I guess you don't care if you're trying to trap it. When the fairy dragon lands in the trap and the trap goes off on the fairy dragon and then they all fall
It can come
30
tumbling
feet.
down for all we care. Yeah,
Okay, fair enough.
but it's
Probably,
the fact that it won't fit. Yeah.
It'd be really
Well-
hard to hide it.
If the bear trap idea doesn't work, maybe we can entice it to come down to our level with like alcohol.
I was gonna say, if only that poison that Cal bought was toxic while ingested, because we could put it in one of the.
Oh, that feels cruel.
Because it causes weakening, right?
No,
Damages, but
staggered.
it also weakens them. It staggers them, yeah. I mean, but it doesn't work because we learned that its ingestion doesn't trigger the
All
poison.
right. Well, Cal's coming down with the nest.
Okay. I guess. All right.
Maybe we can put the nest down on the ground.
It's gonna be
feel-
so suspicious now.
No, it's not. This isn't a trick. Well, maybe it is. It plays tricks on us. Time for us to play a trick on it.
Oh, you want to put it on the ground with the bear trap under it?
No, I'm going to stomp the hell out of it.
Oh, you're
What?
just
Well, let
doing
Yes.
something that makes you feel good.
Mm-hmm. I often do.
All right. I guess
Have
we
you
should get Eonia.
Unless,
to
I
do
mean,
her-
none of you had any plans for it. I figured I might as well just make have a little fun with it. Why not? I can't kick the dragon. It flies.
The nest might be kind of crucial to us luring it back unaware.
Okay, well, let's hear your plan, Fop.
I don't have one yet, but I just don't think we should smash it to pieces quite yet. Also, I'm going to stop responding to you if you keep calling me that.
Ooh.
I don't see any downside to this.
Senya doesn't have any, like, when you do you have a hunting kit, right? Do you have any like smaller traps? I mean, bear trap might be pushing it, but do you use like traps for like rabbits or any like type of like rodent?
Probably not, since those are like mechanical things that cost like gold to make.
Mm,
No, I don't have anything.
I mean, if you want to, maybe just having the nest would be enough of a lure for it. I know I would be pretty upset if someone had my house in their hand.
Yeah, I feel like if you smash it, then you've basically declared war against the thing, and
I've cleared ruled on it several times.
I know you already have, but this will be like I mean, maybe that's what we need. We need to get it angry enough that it will actually move against us, like in anger.
I mean, there's another possibility in that, like, well, I don't know.
What?
Like, we could use it. I mean, it clearly fought this bandit somehow. We could use it and then betray him later.
Damn, Esker.
Well, I'm just saying.
I like this side of you. I mean, I feel like it's a trickster. It had a trap set up.
I don't know if we could see. The thing is, it might, like, in the moment of battle, let's say we made an alliance and we're like, come help us fight this, and then it came, and then it just would mess with both of us and like laugh. That's the thing.
I only think it killed this bandit because the bandit got too close to its nest. They probably had this trap set up to protect
And
its
here we
home.
are.
Well, yeah, we're lucky the bandit triggered it first.
There might be other traps.
There could be, yeah, very likely.
And I'm not going to be the one to go looking for them.
That's fair.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've already removed the nest now from the tree. Did Eonia do her touch magic on it?
She
Did
says
you
she's
want me
not.
to?
Sure, we have it in hand now. We might as well just make sure. We could be completely, like, wrong about what
You
it is.
didn't want to detect magic on it, Esker?
I'm good.
All right, I'll do my object reading as linked above.
Okay. Sounds good to me. Oh man, okay. So the emotion you feel at first is Jesus. Okay. A child at play, if you will. It understands that someone is coming, and when this happens, it'll be so funny and ha 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 on them, and they'll get so scared, and a bit of camaraderie with a friend who also is working to lure this person in, followed by there's probably like a 15-second break, and then afterwards kind of like a shock that things got really real really fast. This will be fun, to what have I done? And then it kind of, you get a second presence, like two merging into one, comforting each other, being
Probably
there.
the weird cricket creature.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then it resolves with a sense of resoluteness.
There's a murder pact.
So the person was actually lured to the trap.
Yeah, so basically it's Home Alone.
By the owlbear illusion.
So I suppose then it would be a sense motive to get a hunch. Or to put it all together.
So basically it's Home Alone, but like what really would have happened in Home Alone if someone did set up all those traps.
It's nice.
So close.
Someone can guidance you, you're fine. Yeah, the idea seems to be that the Grig and the fairy dragon were working together to play a prank on this poor bandit who'd got lost in the woods and make an owlbear illusion that it can't fight, and it runs away, and it's going to trip this trap that some trapper set up, and oh wait, it's going too far the other way, somebody go cut that, and then it falls on them, and then these two jovial prankstery things realize that things have gotten really real really quickly, followed by a sort of a sense of we don't have to deal with people like this in our home anymore. If there's someone set a deadfall up here, that same someone could have been the someone who set up the bear traps, and certainly creatures like the Fae would have a closer relationship with woodland critters than they would humanoids. That's probably why a lot of the woodland critters here are a little more friendly.
Oh, we killed them. Well, fuck them.
I will say to the group, the death was an accident. We're dealing with children. They're not. They are a threat, but only because they're naive, not because they're ill-intentioned.
Yeah, but they are dangerous.
They are beings of chaos.
Beings of chaos! And I think that
is that just Cato's opinion, or with my knowledge of the Fae, is that something I would agree with?
I'm going to double check it because I could be wrong. I always tell my friends and patrons that we're learning this game together because 10 years of bloat, to say nothing of 3.5, means sometimes we're going to stumble on things I don't necessarily have a encyclopedic knowledge of. I'm going to open, this is a Dryad, this is a Cold Rider, this is a Gathlin. Gathlin are PC races. They can be any alignment. A Nixie. And your... They tend more towards either an alignment with nature or capriciousness. Creatures of chaos. In some cases, like the literal boogeyman exists in Pathfinder as a fae, as a neutral evil fae. Sometimes these things crawl straight out of nightmares and or Tim Burton movies, and as such are a little less on the haha, let's play pranks, and a little more haha, I'm going to kill you. But generally speaking, more towards chaotic bent.
I believe I sensed chaos on the Fey Dragon earlier.
That you did.
It pinged.
So even if they don't have the intention to kill, they're just a bunch of pranksters. They're going to continue to prank and continue to cause harm and death inadvertently just by their very existence. And there's no making them civilized. There's no. I doubt there's any way to show them the errors of their ways. They clearly don't even care for humans. They're more.
I don't know that that's
than...
true. They seemed. The feelings I got were regretful. They did seem to care. They did seem to feel that they had taken it too far. Whether or not they'll continue to, whether or not they have the capacity to grow, I can't say. But they did seem to have feelings of remorse about their actions here.
So here's what I'm thinking. We set it down here, low. See if and wait. See if Perlevash comes to retrieve his nest, and when he does, we spring on him. Otherwise,
if it sees its nest in an improper place, it's going to know that something is up.
Exactly.
Even still, it's very likely that it will immediately know our presence before we know its presence. I don't think we're going to be hiding.
But I'm not. How do you know it would know our presence?
Well, if it doesn't know, like it can hide much better than we can. So it might, for all we know, it's already like observing.
Right. Well, so that's what I'm saying. I think. Well, that's why I say this is what we can do. We can either use it as bait to lure it closer to us, or you just let me destroy it and we move on. That's our two options as I see it.
I mean, you think it's just going to come to its nest when it knows that there's danger, when we know that it's a coward?
I don't know. Depends on how important this nest to it. None of us know how this thing thinks. For all we know, this nest is the most important item to it.
Ionia is pretty done with this discussion. I don't really agree with what we're doing, and I'm just going to kind of remove myself and sit down with the dogs and just kind of do my own thing and not participate in this.
Okay, fair enough.
We're at time, aren't we?
We are. Trying to we should stop. Oh wait, there's more things. Deal. I don't mind that much. Anyway, that's what we're gonna call it. More of Cato wants to kill it. Our Taurus seems to also want to kill it. We're turning the taxman to evil.
Well,
no, we're instilling order.
Evil.
We're turning him to lawful. In any case, we will be back at it next week-ish, or in 5 minutes after I run to the bathroom. It depends on perspective, doesn't it? In any case, thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and we will be at it again next time. Say bye, y'all.
Bye.
Reclaimers.